Good morning, Raptor freaks. Yachts here. It's Sunday morning. The Raptors are playing the Oklahoma City Thunder today. And also, the Raptors 905 lost to the Rio Grande Valley Vipers yesterday in a very disappointing loss at the last couple seconds. They were winning that whole game, too. What a waste of time. I watched most of that game kind of vicariously, but also I did make the effort to be here to watch it. And in some ways, I wish I had, because honestly, they teased me. The 905 winning most of the game, but then, of course, it falls apart at the end of the game, and they lose by 3 points right at the end. They've been winning the whole freaking game. And I watched Eric Curry's post-game press conference last night, and I'm just like, this is so bullshit. You suck. There's been games recently where you should have won and you didn't execute and win. The other team was better at late game execution, and they ensured they got the W. You had it right in your hands. Man, in some ways, I'm just like, this whole season's a nightmare. Whether it's 905 or the Raptors right now, it's just been like that. Holy crap. I woke up this morning, I thought it was Monday. This is just how it is right now. I'm like, I woke up, I'm confused. Adriana's calling me, and she's confused in some ways, and I'm confused because I think it's Monday. And I'm like freaking out. It's Monday. It's Monday. I was like, dude, it took me like 15 minutes to figure out it's actually Sunday today. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's do what we do here. The latest lineup news for the Oklahoma City Thunder game today. Trey Mann is questionable for today's game. It is personal. It's not an injury. He's out for personal reasons, but he's questionable for today. Jalen Williams, the one without the Y. Jalen Williams that starts. Jalen Williams that's supposedly one of their top stars with Chet and SGA is out today. His ankle. He will not play versus Toronto today, according to Brett Dawson of selloutcrowd.com. And then Isaiah Joe, he's been hurt too from the Oklahoma City Thunder. But those are their only 3 injuries on their report right now. Their lineup is as follows. Canadian hero, best NBA guard in the league, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, starting today for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That'll be fun to watch. Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen with a Y, Williams, Vasily Misic, Keontae Johnson, Kenrick Williams, Lindy Waters III, Ousmane Dieng, Olivier Sarr, and Alexei Poku. That is their roster for the Thunder right now. They're, of course, winning a lot this year, 34-15. That's winning 2 for every one that they miss, and winning more than that even. Their recent games have been pretty good. I think they won. Well, they're 2-2 in their last 4, but they won 5 before that, so they're really 7-2 in their last 9. So yeah, really, really good. And it's weird they lost to Detroit in the last week. That is really weird that the Thunder lost to Detroit. If Detroit can beat them, we can beat them, y'all. Is what I'm going to say right now. If Detroit can beat them, we can beat them too. On our side of things, Jonte Porter will not play in Sunday's game against the Thunder. His back is still bothering him. So no Jonte again today, guys. So he's ruled out. RJ is questionable for today's game against the Thunder. It's his knee. So and then Marquise is listed with his hamstring also. So yeah, RJ could play today. I'd like to see RJ play, partly because I'd like to see that Canadian matchup. In some ways, it's kind of was a shame and that he didn't play against Houston and Dylan Brooks. That would have been fun to see those guys competing with each other. Well, SGA versus RJ. Can we get that today, RJ? I don't know. We'll see if he shows up. We'll see if he's available. He's questionable right now. Our referee crew for the game today is interesting. It's not horrible, but it's also not optimal. Our number 1 ref today is Mark Davis. Yeah, that's the part that's not totally, like Good. Mark Davis is in his 27th season out of Chicago, Illinois. He went to college at the U.S. Naval Academy. His favorite TV show is The Wire. His favorite movie is Glory. His favorite musician is John Coltrane. His favorite book is Lonesome Dove. He likes to get down with some pancakes. His favorite app is Cisco AnyConnect, and he most like to visit Venice, Italy, and fly a helicopter along the Chicago River. Yeah. Davis enjoys playing pickleball. This is something I've said before, and people freaked out. And they're like, "Oh, Mark Davis likes to play pickleball. It's fun." Mark Davis is the worst ref for us today. Yeah, we have a history with him. We lost the last time we refed. We win 51% of our games when Mark Davis is around. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma City Thunder win 53%. So he does favor the Thunder. One of the three refs that does. The other two favor us. But Mark Davis, 51 to 53 is the split for the Thunder. The second ref is JT Orr, 14th season out of Pomona, California. His favorite TV show is Three's Company. His favorite movie is Fletch. He likes the band Pearl Jam. His favorite book is The Outsiders. His favorite meal is biscuits and gravy. His favorite app is Maps. He'd most like to visit Glacier National Park. He wants to start a dog rescue. And his hidden talent is he's an impressionist painter. Yeah. JT Orr used to be a probation officer in California around Los Angeles County. So, yeah, he's somebody who's of the people. He cares about the people. Probation officers are usually like that. You know, they're not normally, they can be hard asses and they can be kind of jerks. I know I've dealt with probation officers. But yeah, they can also be humanitarian and kind of helpful and also looking out for the people too. So, yeah, JT is the nicest ref to us today. We win 60% of our games when he's present over his career. We have lost 3 straight games in a row, though, this season with him present. So we have not won a game with him in a while. There's been 3 straight losses. It's pretty bad. And meanwhile, the Thunder win 58%. So the split isn't that wide. 60 to 58% for the Raptors with second ref JT Orr. The third ref is Danielle Scott, and we haven't seen her much this year. This is the second time we'll see her this year. Number 87, her 4th season out of Woodland Hills, California. Her favorite TV show is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Her favorite movie is Love and Basketball. Her favorite book is Think Like a Monk. Her favorite meal is fettuccine Alfredo. Her favorite app is Pinterest. She likes to visit Santorini. Favorite bucket list is to learn sign language, and her hidden talent is photography. Yeah, Danielle Scott began being an official when she worked with her mom at a men's recreational league. And she graduated from Cal State Northridge in 2013, earning a bachelor's degree in business management with a minor in finance. It's so interesting to me how many of the refs have totally varied, crazy ass backgrounds. And it doesn't even seem like their backgrounds have anything to do with being a ref. It's like every single one of them has some sort of other career path that they were on. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I'm just going to be a ref instead. And they went in the ref path. It's very strange. They all have other occupations. And they're not always like ones that are related to basketball in any kind of way. Danielle Scott is a pretty good ref to us. She also is a 60% winner for us, just like JT. In fact, she's a little bit better than JT at this point. We did lose the one game we've had her this year. And the Thunder win 50% of their games. So 60 to 50 is the split with Danielle for the Raptors. So 2 out of the 3 Raptors are for 2 out of the 3 referees favor the Raptors historically. Mark Davis does not, but JT Orr and Danielle Scott do. So there's your ref report. Not totally horrible. Mark Davis is always under scrutiny in Raptors games because of his history of messing with us. He stole a game against the Kings years and years ago, almost like 10 years ago. He stole a game from us very blatantly himself, all by himself. And that's when we decided he's an enemy to the Raptors because he literally stole a win from us in a very unfair, cheating way. Well, yeah, that's why we watch him close. We watch him real, real close. Mark Davis. Yeah. JT Orr, Daniel Scott. Okay. Let's see how he goes today. I just want them to be competitive. In some ways, winning the game may not be totally realistic, partly because, the other team may have more of an idea about how to close games out and win right now than we do. I've said this before. When Fred was on our team, we had a treasure map to win. Like we understood how to get to the win at the end of the game. But right now, with Scotty being the figurehead leader of our team, he doesn't totally understand what it takes to win or like take over games and make sure we win at the end. We're going to see that more. That's going to be part of the evolving of Scotty Barnes is understanding through the game all the winning plays that he has to do to make it add up to make sure that we win. That's what he wants. That's what he's going to try and master. That's what he's going to try and get better and better at. In some ways, people like SGA, well, they have a lot of practice doing this, carrying the team, and making the big baskets late to take you home to the win. Well, Scott's got to have more practice. And, well, hopefully he can get some success in practice and get some W's for us by taking it home for us. We'll have to see. All right, Chris is here first. Fun game today versus the best Canadian player ever. I mean, really, in some ways, it's a two-man fight. It really is. It's the old school guy with the two MVPs against a guy who hasn't got any MVPs, but he could get one this year, SGA, and Steve Nash. It's really between those two guys. I think that it's just been default. Steve Nash is the greatest Canadian basketball player for a while. I think most people would agree with that. But that may not be true very soon. As much as we may have to amend the GROAT rankings of who's the greatest Raptor of all time, in some ways we have to start talking about who is the greatest Canadian basketball player of all time. Is it Steve Nash? Or is it Shea? It might be Shea. I'm leaning more towards who knows. He's got to get more accomplishments, though. In some ways, Nash has 2 MVPs in the books. And SGA is getting the starts in the All-Star game and the stuff like that, just like Nash. But he's got to get more. And then he will pass him for sure. Yeah. Also, the Raptors need to take pointers from Donovan Mitchell and play tougher. After the cheap shot from Collins, he got up and tried for a knockout. Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't watch all the games. I don't care about Cleveland games. So I didn't see what you're talking about, Chris. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, let's see. Trevor saying, good morning, Raptors family. Happy Sunday and game day. Let's go. All right, Trevor, let's go and get a win. Are you in Oklahoma City? You're probably not. You would have told me if you were. You were in Houston on Friday, but I don't think you're in Oklahoma City today. Trevor saying they named Doc Rivers as the head coach for the East All-Star team for the All-Star game. So many other coaches should get the job. The NBA is bugging. I agree with you to an extent, but also, you know what Doc said? He said, let Adrian coach it. That'd be very uncomfortable. That'd be kind of weird. Like, apparently Doc is going to do this. He's going to give the money he makes for being the All-Star coach to Adrian. He's also going to give him the little All-Star ring that he gets to symbolize that he was the best record coach in the East at that time, which makes sense. Doc just won his first game as the Milwaukee coach last night. It's not like he deserves to coach the All-Star game. So he's saying, I don't deserve this. I'm going to give everything to Adrian. So he's going to give his money. He gets paid for it and the ring that symbolizes making the All-Star game to Adrian. And he's even told the NBA, I don't want to coach it. I'd rather you make Adrian do it or let him do it. Well, that's going to be awkward when Giannis and Dame Lillard show up and he has to coach them in the All-Star game. So as nice as that is, Doc, and what a great, nice kind of thing to do, it's not a good idea. And the NBA told him that. And some days it would have been a lot easier and better if Tibbs had just overtaken the Bucks and New York had the better record and Tibbs was going to go and coach this game instead of Doc. In some ways, it just shows how cheap and stupid this league is at this point. Whether it's the IST with Lakers and how shitty they are, and now we have a sham of an Eastern Conference All-Star coach because of a really crazy firing in the middle of the season of a team that's at the top of the Eastern Conference. When the fuck has this happened before? where there's a controversy about the Eastern Conference coach for the All-Star team because of a coaching firing of a top Eastern Conference team before the All-Star break. This is craziness. This is uncharted territory, and it shows just how silly and stupid the product of the NBA is right now. It's just flaky. There's no institutions. There's no nothing is it's not even permanent. Nothing just lasts. It's so temporary. Everything is so temporary in the NBA at this point. Nothing can be foundational. You can't build a team like they used to build teams back in the 80s and 90s. You have to just run a crapshoot with a bunch of young players and hope it melds quick enough that you can have it happen fast enough. But the plates don't stay, they spoil fast. You got to rebuild and retool within 5 years. There's no way you can have a team for 10 years together because the impatience and the disposableness of the NBA at this point is crazy. It is crazy. If you keep a nucleus together for 10 years, the NBA helps you. At least that's how I feel as a Raptors fan right now. It's like, how the fuck do you keep a team together in this league? The way things are so non staying, there's just perishable. Everything's fucking perishable. Whether it's like you're the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, whether it's this, whether it's that, it's just nothing stays anymore. It's like everybody changes their mind too quick, or nothing can be built right by taking the time or really putting time into it because nobody has patience anymore. It's so crazy. Trevor's saying Lakers stopped the Knicks 9-game winning streak. Where's Milbester? Where's Milbester? We need to talk to this man about what happened last night in the Garden. That's right. Trevor's saying there will always be people in your life who will always laugh with you, but they will hurt you. But you just remember, say thanks to them for making you stronger. I like this. I like this words of wisdom. There's always going to be people in your life who will laugh with you. What they're laughing with you, that means you're friends and you're joking around, right? Or they're laughing at you. Either way, people that try and hurt you, they do make you stronger in the long run if you can take the lessons and you're tough. That's important. Canadian Dana's here. Let's see what Dana's saying this morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy game day. Let's get this win. Go Raptors. I love it. Let's go, Dana. Let's go, Dana. Yes. Yes. Let's beat SGA and the Thunder in their home arena today. I love it. I'd love to see a fantastic game by the Raptors. I'd love to see them get their shit together from Friday night and play way, way better and together and just, look respectable. In some ways, what I'm asking for today, Raptors, is keep it close, keep it competitive, keep it fun, keep it looking good. Don't embarrass yourselves. That's what I'm saying today. That's all I'm asking for right now. It's just please. In some ways, it's a homecoming. Once again, Darko has so many ties across this league. He's going to be going to see a team that he used to work for, a team that he's familiar with, Oklahoma City. SGA and RJ, of course, there's connections there. Yeah, in some ways, it's a little bit like Houston. Some connections and familial bonds between the Thunder and people on our team. We'll have to see what's going on there. Trevor's saying that Chicago Bulls Zach will have surgery on his foot and will be sidelined for 6 months. Wow. Yeah, that sucks. In some ways, the Bulls were trying to hide that injury for a while. But now it's too late. And it's the trade deadline. How the fuck are you going to trade him now? You can't trade him now like this. Who the fuck is going to trade for him? Unless they really want the expiring or whatever, the state of his contract for whatever. They don't care about him playing. They just want money to come off the books. He's not going to help anybody on their playoff push now. I don't know. In some ways, Chicago's been saddled with bums. Lonzo and Zach. These guys are bums. They're hurt too much. And in some ways, they're the failure of the Chicago Bulls franchise. I've said it before recently. I'll say it again. The Bulls are the way they are because of Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine being flaky and being injured all the time. Jill's here. Good to see Jill. Good morning, peeps, with a snowflake. Yeah, very interesting. All right, let's see. Fiercely saying, happy Sunday, fam. Lex, you were pure comedy yesterday. Glad I got to listen a bit to the live. Wow, I enjoyed doing it. I don't know what it is. Since the calendar flipped to February, everything has been going wrong for me. I've been having all kinds of just mess ups and like things are not totally clean and clear. I've just had a lot of issues, like weird things happening. And yeah, like this morning, thinking it was Monday. I woke up this morning, I thought it was Monday morning, but it's Sunday. What's going on with me? I don't know. And then yesterday, all the technical issues with my stream, not knowing that the mic was on, and then messing it up in editing process afterwards. Yeah, it's just been one of those kind of times. I think we all go through these where things are like you're trying to do things right, you're just off, and things are just not smooth. Some people blame Mercury retrograde. I don't know. Something about February is not working right now for me, and I need to get through it. In some ways, the team and what's happening with them mirrors me. We're kind of all disheveled and not totally on the right page, and just kind of like not totally like walking on steady legs. That's how I feel. Like sometimes I do really marry the team. The team's in a certain place and how they're going. Well, my life can be like that also. I guess there's confusion and fuck ups is what's going on. It's like yesterday after I messed up the stream, I was like, well, I'm just like the Raptors. I failed. I failed. The Raptors failed on Friday night against Fred and the Rockets. And then the next day when I did my reaction stream, I failed also. We're all human. I guess that's a lesson. Some days you're just going to have bad days and you're going to screw up. And the Raptors had a bad day and they screwed up on Friday night. And I had a bad day and screwed up on Saturday during the reaction stream from the same game. It just makes sense. It just makes sense, of course. Let's see. Fiercely saying, imagine. Hang on, it jumped right when I was starting to read. Of course. She's saying, imagine is the first word. I want to make sure I read it from the start. Imagine we had traded for Levine. ROA down the drain. Laugh out loud. Anyways, let's get the dub tonight, fam. I love SGA, but family first. I'm with you on that for sure. I'm totally with you on that. Thank God we didn't Shaq Lindsay this shit. Shaq Lindsay, Zach LaVine for the whole first half of the season. Shaq Lindsay talking about Zach LaVine so much. We had to ban him from this channel because he was talking too much Zach LaVine. Yeah, I'm so glad we didn't listen to Shaq Lindsay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am. Yeah, we love SGA. SGA is a great Canadian. I have a jersey of his over there given to me by Tom Duke. I will not be wearing it today. No, I won't. I'll wear it this summer when he suits up for Canada. Yeah, I will. I'll wear it proudly then. Let's see. Jill's saying, if Lex wants to take a day off sometimes, I would completely understand. I hope lockup is helpful tonight. Listen, I can't. I'm committed to do this, Jill. I will say this, though. If it gets really tough and bad, I might shorten my stream even more. Yeah, there's no reason for me to talk for 2 hours when it's really bad. In some ways, I might ask y'all to start cutting me off at like 10 a.m. And let's just say you guys can comment for the first half hour and then boom, I'm out of here. I want to get an hour time down. In some ways, that may be what it is we do when losing's bad and there's just like, I don't want to sit in this misery for too much. It just means the streams will get shorter is what it is. And I'm not going to want to talk about topics over and over again if there's not. It's like, what's the point? Let's move on with our lives. Let's have a shorter stream. So I might ask the mods and the people who do the cutoff for me to bring it in even closer if things get really dark and it's kind of like that. In some ways, it'll be good for me with other things I got going on in my life, being able to do other stuff with the time. And in some ways, when the team gets better, then we'll expand it again. But I've been thinking about this a lot. I can't take days off, Jill, because I have a streak and I want to continue to have my streak. And some days recently, I have not felt like doing the stream. In some ways, I've also questioned whether I should continue to do this channel in general. But no, I'm like, fuck that, Lex. As the going gets tough, you got to keep going. That's the whole reason why you did this. And you told these people you would be doing this no matter what. And you want to be a man of your word. So there's no option. There may be some days, especially this summer when I go to Europe, that I only do like a 5-minute thing or a couple minutes where I just come on and say, hey guys, I'm in Tallinn and I'm walking around the old town right now. And, the Raptors did this real quick. And it's just a little news brief. It won't be as in-depth or interactive as my live streams. So there's going to be a little bit of morphing content depending on what I'm doing and what's going on. The summer will be very much like the summers before. There'll be trivia and there'll be all the fun stuff during the week, and I won't take a day off. That's the thing, Jill. I haven't taken a day off in almost 1,000 days straight, and I want to keep that streak going. So even the days when I mess up, like yesterday, I made that makeup clip just to have a placeholder for the one that I lost because it's so dumb. I'm so mad at myself for screwing up like that, but it is what it is. I hope that Jakob is good today too. In some ways, it's Chet Holmgren. We haven't really played Chet ever. This is gonna be the first time we played Chet Holmgren. And I'm going to be very curious to see Jakob playing against him as far as like how quick Chet is to try and get around him and whether Jakob can keep his feet and shuffle sideways and keep him in between him and Chet in the basket. That is something that I'll be watching about with the matchup between Holmgren and Jakob Poeltl. Should be very interesting. Hopefully Chet won't burn him. Chet won't make him look stupid with some sort of crazy offensive stuff. And hopefully Jakob can guard him very well. I hope that he's one of the better people that can guard Chet Holmgren in this league. Hopefully. We'll have to test it. We're going to see today. We'll have to see. Fiercely saying, at Chris, yes, Collins always playing dirty. Coach Pop has a handful. Also, I loved Nick Nurse's face when Patrick Beverly got ejected. Nurse looked annoyed as fuck. Loved it. Yeah, they lost. I heard they lost their game to who were they playing? I should go look. See, I don't care. In some ways, I'm kind of turning off on watching basketball in general, just because of the Raptors state. Yeah, Brooklyn beat them and kind of beat them pretty good for the whole game. Okay, it was Zach Collins you're talking about. Zach Collins, I like the Spurs. If he took a dirty, cheap shot to Donovan Mitchell, I'm for it. I'm not on Donovan's side on that. I fucking hate the Cavs. So if he got a dirty, cheap shot from Zach Collins, I'm on the Spurs side. Good. He deserved it. I don't care what Donovan Mitchell's reaction was to Zach Collins. Good for him. I'd like our guys to be like that too. But, in some ways, I'm on the Spurs side in that one. Jill saying, amazing that the Lakers stopped the Knicks. Wow. Well, the Knicks are very injured. They got Randall out, OG out. Those are two really key people. They may be their two of their top three players with Brunson. So in some ways, that's a part of it. In some ways, this is part of the script also. We could say that. They want the Lakers to look more esteemed. Let them beat the Knicks. I don't know. The free throws weren't exactly right. If I want to go look at the free throws in that game, I'll bet you to tell me that the Lakers got the line way more than the Knicks. And I'm saying this blind, and yeah, I'm right. They got 12 more free throws. They made 10 more points off of the free throw line than the Knicks did, and they won by 8 points. So yeah, if we know that they baby the Lakers and give them foul calls, Milbester, where are you? You should be eating up what I'm saying right now. You should be eating it up. Yum, 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 yum. Fiercely saying, someone said Doc Rivers must have a sex tape on Adam Silver because he ain't no way he gets all these opportunities. It's weird. There's always usually like one coach lingering around the NBA in each era. That's like a trade around coach, a coach that will coach any team and they will just get him any job. If there's some job that's like just needs to be filled, generic coach that has done so many coaching jobs gets that job. And that's who Doc is right now. There's been these kind of coaches in every era. There was one in the 80s. I forget who it is. I should think about it. Who is it? It's like people like Lenny's kind of like that. Lenny Wilkins. Like Lenny Wilkins would maybe be like the old Doc Rivers. He even came and coached us, Lenny. Maybe somebody like Doug Moe. I don't know. Maybe Doug Moe didn't coach enough different teams. Or Don Nelson. Don Nelson is another one of these kind of coaches. They kind of bounced around. It's somebody you got to have coached like 5 teams is basically what I'm saying. And Lenny's probably the closest. Lenny coached a lot of different teams in his coaching career. So I think that's what it is. It's just that Doc is the company NBA coach, generic. If everybody needs a coach, he's just there on standby kind of guy at this point. That's why he gets these opportunities. In some ways, he's not a good coach. I've told Bucks Nation the last week, y'all are foolish. You get worse off with Doc Rivers than you were with Adrian Griffin. Even if there's chemistry issues, you're gonna you'll find out. You'll find out that Doc is a dead end. Cowboys saying good morning, Raptors and Lex. Bam, Raptors freak. Bam, 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 bam. Good to see you, Bradley. Fiercely saying Jalen Williams is a problem. Glad he's out. Yeah, the Thunder have a few guys that are problems. SGA is obviously very much a problem. He is interesting. There's been a lot more press stuff like RJ talking about SGA and the way he looks at things. Interviews with Emmanuel Quickly and his connections with him from Kentucky. These guys talking glowingly about SGA and how he's evolved. I think what they were saying was that when SGA showed up, he was short, and then all of a sudden he grew to 6'6", and then it was over. It's kind of what I've been hearing in the interviews recently. And they got some weapons. SGA, Chet, these guys are skilled guys that have different packages of weapons. And in some ways, them together is scary. It's very scary. It's kind of like the Raptors were a month ago when we had a package of different Raptors that kind of made things look scary. But they've been hurt or traded since. And we don't have that exactly right this second. Jill saying, good morning to Cowboy and Lex. People tweeting about the Raptors admin and a lot of players blocking them. Laugh out loud. Rolling on the floor. Love it. Now, Jill, I saw what you were posting in the chat on the Facebook, but I didn't totally understand it. And the reason why is, listen, this is not a good thing. You're saying that the Raptors players are blocking fans on Twitter. Well, that's because they're losing and the people are coming at them in negative, toxic ways. That's not a good thing. We don't want our fans like getting blocked by the players because that means that they're saying shit that's pissing off the players and they're mad at them. So this isn't a good thing. In some ways, the fans need to be better people and stop attacking the players on social media and just like fucking let them work things out. In some ways, the fans are not helpful in a lot of different ways when we're bad like this. They really aren't. I mean, I'm trying to balance the line of being helpful here by, not going overly negative or being all this or that. But, these people that really are crazy, they can be really annoying. And if they're blocking people on Twitter, go for it. Do it. I have more power to them. But it's also a symbol that we're losing. We're not in a good place. And the players want to put up more walls. And that's not necessarily good either. Let's see. Yeah. Cowboys saying good morning to Jill. Jill saying he likes to get down with some pancakes. Yeah. Yeah. Mark Davis likes pancakes and pickleball. Chris is saying this season is a bit of a debacle. A debacle. And I do have an admission. I have started watching the Knicks. Laugh out loud. I still watch the Raptors, of course, but I need to watch a scrappy team to get my fix. Well, I feel like we're scrappy, but I understand you want to watch a team and root for them to win, and hopefully that result comes out. No, I get it. Other people can watch their other teams right now, and that's fine. There's no big deal with that. That's not a big deal at all. In some ways, I'm going to just pay attention to the Raptors and just say F you to the NBA in general otherwise, especially with this all-star weekend, the way it's shaping up. Let's see. Jill saying you're a closeted Knicks fan. No, I don't. I think that they just like OG and Precious, and they want to see these guys on the new team. I don't know. If you can be a fan of another team. I mean, Edmund said he's classically a Knicks fan in his history. So right now with OG on the team, it's easy for him to reacquaint himself with his old fan ties with the Knicks. So it's weird because the Knicks fan nation is getting a lot of old fans that were jaded and kind of away for a while because they were so tough to watch. Now all of a sudden, some people that had written off the Knicks for 20 years are coming back. And they're following them because they're being so successful right now. So that's an interesting part of what's happening with them. In some ways, that would be something like with us. When we start to get better again, some people will come back and be more involved in watching and going to games and being more excited about the Raptors. It's just right now, there's no reason for people to get excited right presently. There is long-term and future-wise. But right now, while they're playing right now, it's kind of Kyle McCrazy is here, and they're saying no swearing Sundays. I thought about that when I swore earlier, actually. Is comma crazy here? And they're gonna tell me no swearing Sundays. Listen, I woke up, I thought it was Monday. And that's why I'm swearing today, because I didn't think it was Sunday, actually. It's so weird. Chris is saying I have a basketball addiction. I have struggled all my life with it. The smack the Raptors are bringing isn't strong enough. Oh my God. Sorry, I need the NYC strength. I will talk to my therapist on getting help. This sounds so bad, and I shouldn't reward this, but I'm going to, because this just sounds hopeless and sad. So I'm going to give him a dunk. You're getting a dunk for like elaborating on a condition I didn't realize. This guy's a basketball junkie. This isn't like Jim Carroll and the basketball diaries. It's not heroin. It's straight up ball, baby. Give him his fix, Raptors, and win. Play good basketball. He needs to see the good basketball. Come on. Your stuff isn't as good quality these days. Jill's smiling. And Stargate is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Good morning to you, Stargate. Jill's saying Steve Nash is now a billionaire. What? That doesn't seem likely. I don't know. I want to fact check you, Jill. I'm going to say this right now. Steve Nash, if he was anywhere near close to being a billionaire, he would have given half that money away already. This is what I'm going to tell you right now. Steve Nash is one of the most conscious people in the world. Sure, he's got money. I'm sure he's got money, but I don't see him being a billionaire. Do you understand how much money that is? He's the kind of person that would give away half his money before he would get to being a billionaire. I'm telling you that right now. He's very socially conscious, and he gives to a lot of charities, and he's involved in a lot of really great causes. So I think your statement is very fishy. Let me just look it up. All right, we'll fact check. We're going to fact check, Jill. Steve Nash is now a billionaire? What? Are you talking about Steve Nash or Steve Jobs? I don't know. Wait, Steve Jobs is dead. Billionaire. Is Steve Nash a billionaire? What is this? How much the new NBA and billionaire secrets with Steve Nash? What is this? What? This is okay. He's not a billionaire. He's talking to a guy who does a show called Billions named Brian Koppelman. And it's just Steve's on the same show with him. It's very much like, okay, wait a second. They're saying he has 95 million. That's not a million. That's not a billion though. I don't know. If he's a billionaire right now, that's crazy to me. In some ways, Steve, you need to send your money to somebody else if you're already almost there. I'm just saying that's the responsible thing. Billionaires should be like, yeah, I don't need all this money. This is ridiculous. This is an unheard of amount of money nobody will ever need for their whole entire life. You need to go get rid of some of it. She might be right. It says he's 95 million, but is 100 million a billion? I don't think that's right. I think you need like more than that to have a billion. I don't know. I don't care. In some ways, I don't value this kind of shit. It's in some ways, Steve Nash, I know him. I met him. He's a nice guy. If he's a billionaire now, well, shame on him, is what I'll say. Shame on you if you're a billionaire. If you got to that point and you have that much wealth accumulated, well, you are a fucker. And you need to go ahead and redistribute some of your money because you don't need that much. You really, really don't. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Good day. Game day. Yeah, I like it. Chris is saying, I agree at this point. Nash is the best. MVPs count huge. So he says Steve Nash is still the best Canadian player ever in the history of Canada. I tended to agree right now, but I think SGA is going to close him out soon. In the next 2 or 3 years, he will be known as the greatest Canadian player ever. Watch, especially if he does something this year in the Olympics. Woo, he does something big, like helps the Olympics, helps Canada get a medal, a gold at the Olympics. Holy crap. Yeah, he might pass him. He could get MVP this year too. That's the crazy thing. Embiid's out of the race. Jokic has just won it a few times. It could very well be SGA's MVP this year too. So he could get closer to Nash real fast in the next 6 months. Watch. He really could. Let's see. Jill saying, how uncomfortable for Adrian to receive monies from Doc. I don't know. I feel like that's justified. I feel like you have a weird perspective on things sometimes, Jill. That's just what I'm saying. I mean, that's money that Adrian earned, and that's why Doc looks at it that way. It's not Doc's money. Doc just showed up. It's part of the stupidness of the whole Bucks decision that he just showed up. He feels like he's stealing money from Adrian Griffin. That's why he's like, here's your money. I'm stealing this because I shouldn't have gotten this position right now. Here's your money. It seems like it's just the right thing to do. I don't know if it's uncomfortable for Adrian. I think in general, he's just uncomfortable because he just got fired and he was like excelling at his job. That would be uncomfortable more than like taking the money from him. Jill saying the All Stars, they suck. Pardon my lingo. Yeah, I can get with you with that on that. A lot of people are upset for the Kings right now, and I'm glad. In some ways, they need to respect the Kings franchise better than what they're doing right now. You know what? It's so stupid that the Lakers have two All Stars. This league is so dumb, Adam Silver. Y'all really, really like fellatio the Lakers franchise constantly. You really do. You really do. You're on your knees in front of the Lakers franchise all the time, Adam Silver. It's disgusting. Could you have some more dignity, please? Seriously. I can understand LeBron, you just have to. He's like patched in. He has to be an all-star. You lose money if he isn't. He's the top vote getter, whatever. But Anthony Davis, he didn't deserve to be on the all-star team. The Lakers don't deserve two all-stars. That should have been a king in his spot. That should have either been Fox or Sabonis. I don't care. In some ways, we could say on the other side, there's a couple guys that maybe shouldn't be in there. And Trey Young should have maybe been in there, or Scotty Barnes. Yeah, the all-star teams are not the most, like, I don't know. In some ways, it's stupid. It's a stupid event all around in a lot of ways. Let's see. Cowboys laughing. Stargate saying, yeah, the NBA has really dropped off in its credibility in so many ways. As a fan over 30 years, it's sad to see what it has become. I know. It sucks. It's sad. It's horrible. In some ways, that's why I don't pay attention to the rest of the league. Y'all are telling me about the other games and stuff. I don't have time for this fucking shitty ass product called the NBA. I'll watch my Raptors because I love them and I've watched them forever. But in some ways, I don't really like it's such a weird, toxic, in some ways, thing that I'm doing right now. I hate it. It's like I'm in an abusive relationship with a fucking horrible sports league. I seriously feel like that right now as a Raptors fan. I feel like I'm in a very abusive relationship. I love the team. I want to root for my team no matter what. I want to be a Raptors fan until I die. But in some ways, the NBA makes me want to hate my life. And it's like very fucked up and it's horrible. And it's like, it makes me want to be like, well, what's the point, Lex? What's the point of even like watching? This is so rigged. It's fucking WWE. And it's obvious that they just want the Celtics and the Lakers to have success. That they do all this stuff to make it helpful for them, to make them be successful. I think beating New York and help letting them have the storyline of beating New York last night is a storyline they wanted to write. They saw it. It's like Lakers haven't had much prestige lately. Let's let them end the Knicks 9-game winning streak in Madison Square Garden, and we'll put that on blast as a media talking point. And then everybody will respect the Lakers more. Now we see through that bullshit. That doesn't fucking matter. That team's garbage anyway. They're not going to do anything worthwhile in the postseason. And if they do, well, we're going to question that y'all helped them with the referees the whole time. It's like you can't win with this at this point because the Lakers are so lazy and bad. Y'all can't cover up how bad they are with your bad calls and refereeing for them. It's just everything's right out in the open. The fans aren't stupid, and y'all just need to stop doing this. Seriously, just stop helping the teams that you help all the time. Make it more even. Treat every team equally. The NBA is a microcosm of the world, and it shows inequality. It shows the difference between the haves and the have-nots. It shows us good examples that are not involved with people's personal lives and just like specific examples in life. But you can look at a team. You can look at a team in the ecosystem of the NBA, the hierarchy of who gets the haves and the have-nots, and you can learn about the mechanisms of inequality and discrimination and those kind of things. And it's funny because the NBA is supposed to be one of the progressive sports leagues in the league. Well, they actually are really good at exhibiting some of the worst qualities of favoritism, discrimination, inequality, huge problems that are pervasive in our society today. If some people do not understand these concepts, you could watch the NBA and learn about them real quick. Yeah. You can learn about privilege by watching the Lakers. You can learn all about privilege. Privilege is something that happens in society today. People have privilege. They think that, oh, it's an equal world. No, people have privilege. And in the NBA, teams have privilege. And if you don't understand the concept of privilege, well, the NBA can teach you in an innocuous, innocent way where you don't have to go and look at like race or any other factors. You can just look at NBA teams and say, wow, there's the haves and the have nots. This is an epitome of inequality. This is not a league that is equal chance for everybody in the league. No, it isn't. And it's just like society. It's not an equal chance for everybody in society to succeed and to win at life, just like in the NBA. It's not an equal chance in society or in the NBA for NBA teams. It's unequal. And it's a perfect microcosm example of this kind of stuff for people to understand it. So people that just don't blind, I don't understand privilege. I don't understand what you're talking about with the haves and have-nots and all this kind of shit. Well, let's watch the NBA for a little bit. And you can see LeBron James is a very privileged, spoiled brat that gets all kinds of calls for him, but he still whines and complains to the refs. That's what anyway, I could harp on this for hours, but I'm just saying this is a great example. If anybody has ideas that they don't understand inequality, we'll study the NBA for a little bit and the way that it treats its teams differently. The Kings are very much not a privileged franchise. The Raptors, in a lot of ways, is not a privileged franchise. The Knicks are privileged. The Celtics are privileged. The Knicks are privileged. The Lakers are privileged. But, a team like Charlotte, probably not that privileged. No, Minnesota, nah, they're not privileged. It's a market by market basis. If you want to understand that shit, you can find it out and figure it out that way. I'm telling you right now. All right, let's see. Fiercely saying Milbester will pop up at the end of the live. I know he's missing all the great stuff. Milbester, get here earlier, man. Get here earlier. Jill saying, I'm happy for the additions for the players' resumes, but all I can think about when I watch the All-Stars is high school. Yeah, the level of competition is whack. These guys don't take it seriously. It's boring to watch. It's like it's not fun. They don't even make a competition between themselves at the end. Like the old All-Stars would fuck around a bit, but they would always in the fourth quarter, it was unwritten that we're going to play for real in the fourth quarter for real and really try and win for our team. They don't even do that. They don't even care. Like this generation at this point. They really have fucking ruined the All-Star weekend because they don't take it seriously. And Joe Dumars and Adam Silver and them can try and figure out how to resuscitate the All-Star game by making it East and West. That's a good start. And then also, maybe incentivizing the players with financial rewards if they play at a better level. That's what they're doing this year. We'll have to see if it's any better. But that Utah All-Star game was a stinker. It was a big, fat, ploppy turd that they left on the ground. A big, big stinker. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, yep, the modern NBA is going to move players and coaches around. Sad state, pursuit of the quick fix. Yeah. But in some ways, that doesn't cultivate long-term success or any kind of helpful building to things. In some ways, it's a crapshoot if you win the championship every year. You just got to be lucky. In some ways, you got to just like strike the right combination of players and get in the right groove and have the right luck with health. And boom, you can win a championship. In some ways, it's not like what the Denver Nuggets did last year. They kind of worked and plotted towards it, and they got there. I don't know how many teams are going to be able to do it that way in the near future, just because of how crazy and chaotic everything is with the movement and the changes. You see top-tier teams like the Celtics shake things up pretty seriously. They had a very, very successful year last year. The Milwaukee Bucks had a good core, but they busted it wide open just for Dame Lillard. And in some ways, that may not have been smart for them, but that's what I'm talking about. And it's just in some ways, the old NBA allowed for teams that were not necessarily at the top, but in the middle, all different levels could start building nucleuses and rosters that stay together and really fit and learn over time with each other. At this point, I don't know how long you get with the impatience to actually really meld and get these guys together to really try and get them playing right. It's in some ways that's a problem. That is a problem. All right, let's see. Let's see. Cowboys saying, or right after 11, right on time. Yeah, Milbester, we'll see. Stargate saying, if I was Adrian, I would refuse both the money and the ring. They can shove it. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I think I would take the ring and the money. I would take it. In some ways, it's money, and it is his, deserving his. In some ways, Doc is saying, I don't want to even coach this. You should let Adrian just come back and coach this one game. And if Dame and Giannis would allow it, I would like that. That seems like that's the right gesture. I think Doc's being a good guy in this. In some ways, he may have been shady and nefarious and getting into that spot some way, somehow, but at least after the fact, he is trying to honor and be respectful of Adrian's accomplishments and the time while he was the coach. So I can't fault him. I'm not mad at Doc for this. I think Doc is very honorable and noble for doing that. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. The impatient has to do more with the fan. The impatience has more to do with the fans. The fans want to rebuild, but don't want to go through the process. It's like childbirth without labor pains. Yeah, they're just not realistic. They're idiots. In some ways, these impatient fan nations have stymied teams like the Knicks and the Celtics from winning for many years because they always want to switch gears. They're always whining and complaining. They're always saying this. They're always saying that. Maybe the team listens. They half-ass things, and boom, they don't get anywhere because they're listening to popular opinion. Being a populist as an NBA GM is not smart. Don't fucking listen to popular opinion. Who cares? Who cares what those fucking people think? They're not paid the big bucks. They're not on the moon. They don't understand your job, Bobby Webster. Fuck those people. You're not making decisions because you're the president and you were voted and you have to do the will of people. No, you were paid to do this job because your acumen, your knowledge, and how to do the job is way better than anybody else. And their advice doesn't mean jack shit. You're the ones who know how to do the job, GMs. Yeah. And in some ways, I don't want a populist GM front office. This keeping a pulse to the ground and worrying about what the people think. Fuck that shit. Fuck what we think. Do your job, Messiah and Bobby. And fuck the people. They don't understand the job. They don't understand how hard it is. And those people don't matter anyway. So you guys just do your damn job and you do it like the badasses y'all are, because y'all get paid the money to do it. And y'all understand how to do it better than any just regular average jabroni like me that's just out here talking out of their ass. So it's just like, yeah, I'm with it on that for that. Yeah. Alley-oop to Infamous. All right, we can do that. Yeah, that's a pretty good statement by Infamous there. The impatience is like childbirth without the pain. That's crazy. That is crazy. They don't understand how these processes are, and they are painful. And you want it? You wanted it? Well, you get the pain. You can't handle it? Well, you suck. Why did you ask for it if you didn't think you could handle it? If you can't handle the pain of a rebuild, then fucking why the fuck did you ask for it, you little bitches? Is what I'm saying to Raptors Nation right now. Yeah, why did you ask for it if you can't handle it? You can't handle it. I can handle it. I'm going to handle it. I may go a little crazy from it, but I'm going to handle it. But I don't know if y'all can handle it. Y'all going to tap out. Go fuck off and do other things instead. I guess that's what you're going to do. Yeah. Race mode's here. Good to see race mode. Travels. No OG, no Julius, no Grimes, and Mitch out for the season. And Knicks fans are panicking after losing 1 out of 10. Unfortunately, this is why I've tuned out all Raptors channels, casual fans shaking my head. So this is the same thing. Knicks fans are overreacting to one loss. Y'all are winning like crazy. Y'all are the best team in the NBA since the calendar changed to 2024. And Knicks Nation, you can't even enjoy that? You're going to get freaked out about one loss to the Lakers last night? Let's keep this thing in perspective. You know, if I was Knicks freak and I was doing my reaction stream to the loss to the Lakers last night, I'd be telling people, yeah, the referees love the Lakers and they're going to help them and shape them and help them win. If I watched it specifically, I would tell them exactly where they helped them. If I'd watched the game, I'd tell them the ref manipulation. That's what I would be saying. I mean, hold your head up high. Look at that injury list that was just written out by Edmund. And listen, y'all understand that the handhold, the Lakers, just like I just talked about, they want LeBron to be relevant. They want LeBron to have prominence. Well, beating New York in front of everybody on national television adds to his cachet, adds to his reputation, adds to making him look good. And that's the whole point of the Lakers beating the Knicks last night. If the script that Adam Silver wanted to write last night was the Knicks get their 10th win in a row over the Lakers, he would have written that script for y'all and helped y'all win. But no, he wanted to write the script that LeBron ends the Knicks 9-game winning streak in MSG. And so he wrote that script. It's wrestling. It's wrestling storylines at this point. If it is involving the Celtics, the Lakers, or the Knicks, There is funny stuff going on in the results of who wins the games. I'm telling you right now. Those three markets are compromised as favoritism, as what I was saying earlier, ultra privileged teams. If this is society, these are the ultra rich, those three teams. And they're getting all the benefits and all the tax breaks, and they're cheating us all because they get into them in a lot of ways. That's just the damn truth of it. Let's see. Jill saying that's right because they're fair weather fans. That's right. There's a lot of them out there. This is the time. Raptors fans are going to be very tested on how they can watch them or not. Some people are already not able to watch them, and they haven't been for a couple months now already. Raptors fans should be for better or for worse. I'm with you, Jill. I like that sentiment. And you know what? I wish friends were like that, but it isn't always the case. It's not realistic. I'm going to give you a dunk because that's a good sentiment. I like it. You know it. That's right. That's what Cowboys saying. Cool Cat, next, you're being tested. Keep grinding. Don't be discouraged. This is what they say, Cool Cat. And when you get into this period of time where it's really tough and hard and crazy, that's when you're about to make a breakthrough. This is when everybody, the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, I get going, I keep going, and some people will quit when this kind of shit happens. That's why I'm with you on this. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going because this kind of shit is what makes you keep going. If I can get through this, I can get through a lot of crazy stuff. But you're right. You're right, Cool Cat, and I appreciate what you're saying as far as like, being tested. And don't be discouraged. You're cheering me on and supporting me and encouraging me helps a lot. I want to say that right now. Infamous is saying very suspicious that Zach opted to do this before the trade deadline. Maybe he didn't want to go to laugh out loud. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing to say. That he may have been about to get traded and he didn't like the team. So he's like, I'm going to opt for surgery right now. I'm sure that the Chicago Bulls are real thrilled with him. I'm sure they're really thrilled with him right now. Oh, my gosh. Trevor's saying the Sixers got run over by the Nets at home. Yeah. How many games have the Sixers lost in a row now? And why couldn't we play the Sixers now instead of all of our games against the Sixers at the beginning of the season already? In some ways that pisses me off. That, once again, last year it was the Nets. We had to play the Nets when they still had Kevin and Kyrie like crazy. And then, we didn't have any games against them once Kevin was gone, and they were a shitty team for the rest of the year. Well, this is a similar thing. We got all our Sixers games out of the way in the fall, and now we don't play them. I think we play them one more time, but it's fucked up because I would like to play them right now while Embiid's out. We had to play them 3 times already this season, and they had a full health. It's annoying. Chris is saying, ever thought of guest hosts? Not sure how that could work. That's an interesting concept, Chris. Maybe I'll do like the Johnny Carson and let Joan Rivers come in and run the show for Mondays or something. I don't know. That is a very interesting suggestion. I don't know how I would do it, though. In some ways, I don't know if I anyone enough to do this show to the way that I do it in my place. In some ways, I don't know. Like what? The one person that I would think about letting do this first is Nako. And it's only because I have a working history with him for like almost 10 years. And in some ways, he understands what matters to me and what doesn't because we've worked together so much. I don't know. This is an interesting idea. If Nako the Nacho did the Raptor Freak stream one morning, would y'all be like weirded out? Like if I go to Europe and I say, Gerald, will you do my stream for me while I'm gone? Would that be really weird? And that'd be kind of strange. I mean, I guess to technically keep my streak alive, but I'm not here. I don't know. In some ways, I got to figure out the logic of this, Chris. It's an interesting idea, though. Very, very interesting. Infamous is saying, I have a very strong belief the Raptors are targeting a gem in this year's draft, which explains the reason for the unusual direction. Oh, I like this. I like this. I mean, if this is hey, trust the Messiah. Whatever it seems bad, it's darkest before the dawn. That's what they're saying. If we can have just a half season of really horrible rebuild, a bottoming out, just this half season from the January on to the end of the season, and then next season we look capable, we win a lot more, we're more of a full, complete team because of the offseason moves, I'll take that. I don't want to take a full season of trashy horribleness. We're taking a half season, so a half retool, a half reboot. Okay, I'd take that instead. I don't want to be bottoming out for like 2, 3 years, like a franchise would. I want to get right. So let's get a good draft pick, like what you're saying. Yeah. Cool Cat saying yes. 1 hour stream is efficient, even when we get better. In some ways I can tighten things up. Some of it is just me rambling naturally like this. Like I should maybe take each comment and say, all right, you get 10 seconds on each comment. Just answer it and move efficiently. But sometimes I'll read one of these comments and I'll riff for like 5 minutes off of one comment. So some of it's my own self-discipline that I need to work on as far as like how I react to each of y'all's comments. So we'll see. Joe's saying, can we see photos of you in Europe? Well, if I'm on stream, you'll see me in Europe. You'll see me in the backdrops. Maybe I'll do it because this is the thing. The time when we start is 9:30 here, but while I'm there, it's 4:30 p.m. So I could keep my regular 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time start, but I'll do it at 4:30 at the time there. So you'll see me in the afternoon at the regular time, and I might just pop in and say, "Hey guys, I'm at this tourist spot in Estonia right now. And here, look at it. And here's Adriana, and we're here and we're happy." That kind of thing. That may be what happens around that trip is you might get a little bit of a trip footage and format from that. Maybe me sprinkling in news about the Raptors. Maybe there's some top story for that day, and I'll talk about it and the very interesting locale that I'm in. So I'm still trying to figure it out, see what's going to happen. Cool Cat saying Jakob as a big man needs conditioning as well. Well, he's coming back from missing games, so yeah, temporary. I think that this guy's in good shape. I mean, he's been in the league for so long. It's just that sometimes if you're on the shelf for a little bit, you need to get reacclimated and get your conditioning back. I don't think that he's somebody that's been out of shape for a while. I think that he plays so much and he's usually like, he's very conditioned. It's just maybe he's a little out of shape because he was on the shelf for a brief time just now. Maybe. I don't know. I don't totally understand this. Are you trying to be like Chris and say that he's fat? I'm trying to figure this out. Infamous is saying, I appreciate what you do, Lex. Don't shorten anything. We all enjoy the unusual content and interactive format. I mean, I'm going to do it with balance. In some ways, I don't mind the Lexathons. I don't mind doing a 4-hour stream some days when it's important. Like if it's playoffs and there's a lot to talk about and it makes sense, I'll do it. But if we're in a bad place and it seems like we're kind of going in circles where we're kind of like going over the same topics over and over again, and it's just like, what is the point? I may like start cutting down times just to be more efficient in some ways. I mean, I love that you're saying this. I love the long streams too. I don't mind doing 2 hours. But also, if things are going to be a certain way with the team, we may not need to do 2 hours. There may not be a whole lot to be able to be saying. Like in the summer, it's going to be like this sometimes. Off season, there's only off season news, kind of reacting to different things, doing a lot of Team Canada stuff this summer. We'll see how those streams go. There may be more half-hour streams. There may be some more hour streams. And we'll see. We'll just do it naturally. We'll do it naturally, and we'll do it how it feels right. Jill's saying, I like what Infamous is saying about the Raptors wanting a gem. Yeah, I mean, you were telling me that he went to Europe and France, Masai. He's scouting French connections. There's a lot of good French players coming up these days, Victor and Bilal. Now guys coming up after them. So maybe there's some French guy we're going to draft around the top 7 picks. When we get our draft pick, we see what happens. Race Mode saying, I love the Lexathon, especially when it's good times. I come here for updates, and I end up staying longer than expected, especially when I should be working. It's a great crew. Awesome. I love that. That's a really nice compliment, Edmund. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to mix it up in a couple ways. We got a community where we're together and we can interact and have family. Then there's also information, very factual, trying to keep up to date with all the latest Raptors news. And then there's a comedy and silliness and extra interactive kind of fun otherwise too. .com saying the Lakers are top 3 in the league in paint points. That's why they get to the line a lot. I know this is what the talking point from the other side is right now. This is bullshit. It's bullshit. We got a team that was really good at getting the paint on our team right now. We get the paint all the time. In fact, Darko was talking about how much the Raptors get the paint touches this year. Do we get the kind of foul calls they get? No, we don't. This is a bullshit excuse.com. I'm with all due respect. There's a lot of teams getting paint touches, but they're not getting rewarded like these guys are. They really aren't. And it's very evident when you see something like the way that the Lakers have been handholded in Boston and New York in the last week. They didn't have LeBron and AD. And that's a test right there. Some people say, well, it's LeBron, man. You got to get him the line. You have to respect his career, respect what he's done in his career. Okay, all right, that's LeBron. Well, if LeBron's not there, they're doing the same damn thing to Austin Reeves in his place. And in some ways, that doesn't make any sense to me. Austin Reeves should not have the reputation and the respect that LeBron James has in his absence. That tells you that it's fixed. That tells you that they handhold the Lakers. That, Austin Reeves just fills in. Now, you can look at that game. It's against Tatum and Brown. Does Austin Reeves deserve more free throws than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? No. If we're talking about the superstar system, where these guys are more superstars and more bona fide in this league, they should be getting the free throws more than Austin Reeves by the end of that game. It really is a test at this point. You can see how the referees give fouls to people, and the superstar treatment is going to somebody like LeBron. Then it's going to Austin Reeves, but it's going around. And I hate the Celtics. You know this. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are not getting the same amount of free throw attempts as Austin Reeves. He's inflated. That's something fishy. It's very fishy. And I'm not even with the Celtics. I hate them. I wouldn't want to help them. But that just tells you something right there. You can go talk to Celtics Nation right now, and they tell you, yeah, they screwed us out of free throws in the Laker game, and they handheld the Lakers to help them beat us at home without LeBron and Anthony Davis. Yeah. And I believe that. I can see the box score, and I can tell. You can make this bullshit. That's the talking point that's coming from LeBron sexuals and Laker Nation to justify. That's their stance to say, well, this is how. It's because we get more paint touches. Bullshit. There's so many other teams that get in the lane just as much as y'all. Y'all just get the calls. That's the only difference. We get in there all the time, and they don't fucking call jack shit for Pascal and OG before that when they were on here, or Scotty. How many times Scotty goes in the paint and gets paint touches, he gets slapped around? It's the Lakers, they go to the line. It's the Raptors, no whistle, nothing. That's it right there. Jillian saying, I understand, Lex, after 3 or 4 hours of the stream, you might feel irritated and people might start repeating themselves. Personally, another 4 hours isn't for me. Got to know my strengths. Yeah, it was crazy. Like the longest one I ever did was almost 5 hours. And it was when we were in the playoffs against Philly. You can go back in the archive and you can see some of the times on some of my streams from like 2 years ago. And I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? Sometimes part of the reason why we did the cutoff is because I'm starting to feel tired with my voice at about 4 hours. Like my throat's and like feeling like stressed from working so much. So yeah, in some ways, cutting down the stream is good for my health. That's part of it too. Chris is saying Don Nelson, the Nelly ball was legit. He was a great coach and sort of invented run and gun ball, small ball. Yeah, with the Warriors. Doc is not even close. Don was a genius of the game. Couldn't stop big centers, though. I don't think Don Nelson's the right example. I'm just saying, and they're not even really they're just coaches that are a good fill-in coach for whatever job. And I think Lenny is the better example from that period of time. That Lenny wasn't winning all the time, but he'd come in and take any job and just kind of take the job. And that's who Doc is now. I don't think Don Nelson was the best choice in what I said. I mean, let me think about who Don Nelson coached. He coached the Warriors and he coached the Mavs. And I don't even remember. Didn't he coach the Knicks for a very brief second? And that's about it. I don't even think he coached a lot of different teams. Didn't he coach Milwaukee a little bit too, I think? I don't know. Lenny Wilkins coached like 7 or 8 teams. So he's probably a better example of what Doc Rivers is right now. Let's see. Cowboys saying the fans that are toxic now are the ones that wanted Spicy gone, OG gone. Yeah, the fans are just toxic. There's a lot of fans that are just going to be toxic no matter what. And in some ways, there's people piling on right now. I understand. The Raptors are back into a bad place. In some ways, we've downgraded a bit from where we were, like just in the last 2 years. and it is what it is. But I feel really bright futures ahead with Scotty in charge and being in the middle of everything. Jill saying, respectfully, Lex, I understand why some players aren't on social media at all. Also, I believe Scotty blocked someone who was nuts about him. Yeah, he hasn't blocked me. I don't think I'm nuts about him. I think that he understands. I'm just somebody who's informing everybody else and just kind of keeping people in the know. And in some ways, I'm harmless and I'm on his side, and I'm not trying to do anything crazy or psycho. But yeah, it is. If I was a player, I wouldn't be on social media in general. I'd have it very, very, very like strict what I'm seeing. I wouldn't be seeing any ordinary person's opinions or any of that kind of stuff. Like Fred said, he doesn't have anything to take from us. We don't know enough about ball for him to listen to anybody's opinions on the NBA or how he should play. And he's right. He's exactly right, Fred VanVleet. Infamous is saying, I'm a basketball fan first, so I enjoy the game, period. The losing is upsetting as a diehard fan, so I watch other teams and games. There you go. And there's nothing wrong with that. You guys, everybody can be a different kind of fan. I'm just like, I'm not really like, I hate the NBA so much right now. I have a hard time watching if it's not the Raptors, even if the Raptors are losing and all that kind of stuff. It's a hard time just watching the game sometimes. Sometimes it infuriates me to hear how much they kiss the ass of the privileged teams that I've talked about earlier. Like, it just infuriates me to hear the tooting the horn of people like LeBron and saying all this stuff, just like really, really just kissing their ass. And I'm like, I can't watch this. It's just like disgusting. Let's see. Greg is in the house. He's had a couple things come out this past week, different clips. So yeah, check out Gubstown Clink. Always interesting content. A lot of content coming out these days. And so some of the stuff about the direction of the team, and he's got a new White Whale or something recently. I haven't watched it yet, Greg, but I'm gonna definitely check it out soon. It's on my queue on my YouTube. It's coming up. I'm a classic Knicks fan for sure. When we were garbage in 2021, I followed New York as an underdog threat down the stretch in the playoffs. Very similar play style to the Raps under Nick Nurse. Defense first and gritty. Now with OG. Yeah, I mean, I can get behind them too. I like that kind of blue collar kind of stuff too. I can get behind that too. In some ways, I'm weighing it with two things. It's like I really love to see OG be successful, have accolades. I love to see the Knicks beat the other Atlantic Division teams other than us. And then also, I'm not really thrilled about New York fan getting big in the britches from success. They're going to be annoying. We know that they're similar to Leaf Nation. That they have some success in the postseason. They're going to be extremely tooting their horn and being kind of annoying and out of pocket. That's the one thing I weigh it against. It's like, I do want the Knicks to be successful and do well, but how much annoyance can I take from their fan nation getting big in their britches? That is kind of what I'm weighing it with. It's like, I want them to do well, but Knicks fans are going to get annoying. Cowboys saying, I'm going to say, hopefully I'm wrong, but we're losing this game, and I'll still cheer for the team. Let's go, Raptors. Well, that's not the normal Cowboy I know. He's always saying we're going to win this game. We'll see what happens. Sometimes these games where I'm kind of like, you know what, we're probably going to lose today, we get really pleasantly surprised. And sometimes it's like these games where we're like, yeah, we're going to lose the Thunder. Holy crap, they're so good this year. Then all of a sudden we're like, holy shit, we won. Oh! And we have a crazy reaction stream tomorrow. So who knows, Cowboy? We'll have to see. Jill's saying, I'm watching the Raps. I'm watching the Raps. That's right. She's going to keep watching because she's a real one. She's a Raptors freak. And she is a passionate Raptors fan no matter what. No matter what. She stands with her team, Jillian Moody. I love that. I love that so much. Cowboys saying, nice video, Gubs. If any of those trades work, I like the Herb Jones one. Okay, so Greg's talking about Herb Jones deal. That's interesting. We talked about Herb Jones a little bit in the last couple weeks. I know that Nako's big on Herb Jones. Let's see. Cowboys saying, let's just give the new guys some minutes. I'd like to see JFL, even Lewis Jr. Yeah, I know. No, trust me. I wasted my time yesterday watching them play with the 905 against the Rio Grande Valley. Let me do the 3 stars real quick. That's making me think of that. All right, my 3 stars of the game in the really pathetic last-second loss to Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Number 1 star, Muhammadu Gee, Mohamed Gee had a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 3 turnovers, 5 for 6 from the field. He missed both his free throws, so he's not like perfect or anything. And look, I'm giving the first star to a guy who had a double-double, 10 and 10. Like, that's not that impressive, y'all. That just tells you enough right there how shitty the 905 are right now. That Mohamed Gee is my number one star, and he missed both his free throws. He had 3 turnovers, and he only scored 10 points. That's pathetic. That is not achievement. My second star is Drake Jeffries. Drake Jeffries came into the game and he bombed some threes, and he made them this time. 3 for 5 from 3. They were all the shots he took. He made his only free throw. 1 assist, 1 steal. A plus 14 though, with 12 points. Drake had the most had the best plus minus of all the 905 yesterday. So Drake Jeffries, you're my second star. But once again, this isn't the most impressive stat line. He got 12 points. He shot 3 of 5, and he got 1 assist and 1 steal. And that's his whole stat line. That's not that good. That's really not that good. And he's my second star. The third star is Kyra Lewis Jr. Kyra was okay shooting, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers, a plus 11 with 13 points. So he was the other plus player on the team. Pretty much everybody else was a minus or just really close. So those are my 3 stars of the game in the loss against the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Mohamed Gee, Drake Jeffries, and Kyra Lewis Jr. Justice Winslow was absolute trash. 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3, 6 turnovers, and he fouled out too. So Justice Winslow, horrible. Javon Freeman Liberty, 6 of 15 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 15, a minus 12. Kobe Simmons, 5 for 12 from the field, 21 points, the leading scorer, but it was 5 of 12. And 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He could have been one of my stars, but in some ways I didn't like his game. The bench was kind of Kevin O'Banner struggled, only 1 for 4 with 4 points. Jay Sean Page, 1 of 6 from 3 with 7 points. Omari Moore, 3 of 5 with 8 points. He was okay. Daryl Morsell, 2 of 3 for 4 points. And then the return of Makur yesterday, and he only scored 1 point, missing 1 free throw and only making 1. So, yeah, it's just a garbage game. Like I said, they were winning the whole entire game. The 905 were beating the Valley Vipers. And then right at the end, the Vipers took the lead right at the very last second and won by 3 points. Pathetic. And they were balling. They were like really celebrating. They were like, they did like a 3 to take the lead. And then we did another 3 and we got tied again. And then they did another 3. And this all happened in the last 45 seconds. Really deflating. Really, really poor execution by Eric Curry's team late in the game to hold them off defensively. These guys went down and bombed threes like it was nothing, and there was no resistance. Just really pathetic. Oh, my gosh. In some ways, I wish this 905 season would just get over. This and the Raptors season. Let's get both of them over. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. As far as that, I don't want to see these guys come up, Cowboy. Seriously, they're not good team players. I don't like Kyra Lewis Jr., JFL, I'm not a big fan of him either. They're a waste of time. They take away minutes from good quality players that we want in the future. Those guys aren't players we want in the future. Trust me. Freeman Liberty and Lewis Jr. They're not. At least in my book. If Masai sees something in one of those 2 guys and wants to keep them around, okay. But to me, they're not keepable. They're not people that we should keep. They're not NBA players. They're very good G League players. They're possibly right in between G League and NBA, but they're not good enough to be NBA players. They really aren't because their size isn't big enough. They're not big enough, and they're not good enough fundamentally. Now, see, that's the difference between Marquise Noel and those guys. Those guys are not clean fundamentally. They don't play ethical basketball like those guys don't. Marquise does. So even at 5'8", Marquise has a better chance of making the NBA because he plays clean basketball. Those guys don't. They're very, like, fundamentally in some ways, and they're very selfish players. They're not team players. That's the other problem. Jill's saying Steve Nash has 5 kids. If he's accumulated a lot of money, he can save the world. He's still a great guy. Yeah, I just know how philanthropic he is. I follow him on Instagram, and he's always talking about some sort of cause and standing with it, and he's very politically minded. He's very, very left-leaning. and he's just very like socially conscious, and I like that about him. Yeah. Infamous is saying if SGA gets an MVP chip, an Olympic gold, then he will surpass Nash, in my opinion. Let's not forget how good Nash is. He got 2 MVPs. Yeah, some people will say unfairly that he shouldn't have been a two-time MVP. Maybe one for sure, but the second one, some people say that that was a robbery from either Shaquille or somebody else. I mean, I get it. It is what it is. I like to consider Steve Nash the greatest Canadian player ever, but I think that SGA is going to surpass him. I think he will. And what you said right there will help. Him getting an MVP this year, them doing well in the Olympics this year, him possibly getting an NBA chip. Yeah, these will get him up there. I don't think Nash won an NBA chip. Jill's saying, yes, Cowboy. I hope Nwara is good tonight, and I hope the Raptors gel. Yeah, I'd like to see more Jordan Nwara and see him play very well. Jill's saying, I wish I was there watching SGA in Oklahoma City. That'd be fun. It'd be weird to be in that city. It's a strange place. I've been there once. It's a strange place. Cowboys saying, we're playing for the pick. Let's go. I believe in Masai. I think this team will surprise a lot of people in the NBA in the near future. We're going to be a monster. I hope so. I hope you're right. It's a little unclear right now. In some ways, we got to get guys healthy. We got to make few more moves, and then we'll see where we're at as far as like how good we are comparing to the rest of the league. In some ways, it's a match by match on a certain night basis. Some nights we may not have the biorhythms. Some night we may not have the talent. Some nights we just may not have it to beat the other team. Greg saying, thanks, Cowboy. I'm not convinced Pelicans are interested in moving Herb. I don't think they are. I think they value him. They went out of their way to draft him higher than projected, and they need him come playoffs. Fingers crossed, though. He'd be great. Yeah. I think they're more likely to move Trey Murphy than trade Herb Jones. But who knows? Who knows? In some ways, once again, this is an area I don't really speculate on trades that are possible. If they happen, then I'll react to them. But I don't mind getting Herb Jones. That's a great player. Stargate saying folks in the States are not giving Scotty any respect as far as being someone who should be an all-star. I just hope these players that play up here don't fold to xenophobic rhetoric we face here. Yeah, I'm worried about this too. In some ways, he's getting snubbed from the all snub team. Mark J. Spears, shame on you. You're overlooking Scotty Barnes, and his great stats should be included in your article on ESPN. That's a shame on you, man, Mark James J. Spears. You needed to mention Scotty in your article also, and you completely snubbed him from your snubbed article. That's messed up, bro. That's messed up. In some ways, that is part of the hierarchy of people trying to do fucked up shit and messed up stuff. That is what it is. See, Scotty's just got to be that good. He's got to get that much better and just make it happen for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Jill's saying they can't, Stargate. They'll be waived or traded. Who are you talking about? You talking about fans? I don't understand that. Cowboys saying alley oop to Stargate. You have a fight more for everything when you're a Raptor. That's true. That is true. Unfortunately, that is true, and that's what I'm talking about with privilege. That's the epitome of what privilege is that they don't have as easy a chance here in Toronto as they do down there. That's what I'm talking about. People don't understand what I'm talking about when I talk about privilege. That's what I'm talking about right there. Let's see. Jill's saying Scotty asked to try for the Olympics. He didn't ask. They asked him. They said, you're on the select list of 41 that we're going to consider for the Olympics. And he has to try out. He'll go to camp in Las Vegas this summer, and he'll have a camp, and they're going to pick the people from the team. There's only going to be like 12 of them out of the 41. So most of them are not going to get picked if you do the math, Jill. So we'll have to see. Jill's saying, I promise you, Lex, Adrian is not comfortable. He was just fired. He wants to be rehired somewhere, not receive a gift from the guy who was just given his job afterwards. Now, see, this is the one thing I don't like is y'all suppose a lot about emotions. Y'all suppose a lot. I know y'all are empathetic people and you want to act like you understand how people feel, but I don't think you guys are exactly right all the time. And in this situation, of course, he's upset about being fired. I don't know why you would say he's not comfortable. If somebody's going to give you money, just give you money, yeah, he's going to take it. I don't understand why he wouldn't be comfortable with getting that money. In fact, I would think this is how he is. Doc is somebody I've known for a long time, and he's a friend of mine. He's been advising me. He cares about me. And my friend, who has my job now all of a sudden, cares about me enough that he's going to give me the money that it's actually probably mine, and I'll take it, and I'll accept it out of respect. because this guy respects me enough to give it to me in this situation. He could be an asshole and say, no, I'm taking the money. I'm keeping all this shit. But he's my friend. He's giving me this stuff. I don't think you guys understand this situation. Like, you guys are trying to say he's not comfortable with taking the money. It's a like a thousands of dollars paycheck. Guys are comfortable, not comfortable. If they're comfortable paying the fines or this, they're comfortable taking money too. So I don't get this. I don't get this. Like, seriously, let's not get this twisted. He's not mad at Doc Rivers. He understands Doc Rivers is his friend. He's mad at the franchise. I'm sure he's mad at the franchise, but I don't think he's mad at Doc. Doc is just a guy who filled in after him, and he doesn't see him as the part of the problem. And he may be like very honored. He's saying, you know what, Doc, that's really nice of you to give me the money for that. Why would he be uncomfortable about that? Like, here's $20,000 for being the coach of the All-Star game. It should have been yours because you earned it. I don't get this. I don't get this. G saying, good morning, freaks. Did we talk about how Stephen A. Smith actually thought Scotty was snubbed? That came out of nowhere. That's good. I like that. And more people saying stuff like that, the better. The more people saying stuff like that, the better. Thank you, Stephen A. Smith, for saying it down there. Other people are talking about all kinds of crazy people that they think they got snubbed. And I'm like, these aren't snubs. This is not an all-star. Jared Allen. Come on. That's not a snub, y'all. That's not a snub. Let's see. Jill saying, I saw that, G. Shocking. Shocking. All right, let's see. Cowboy. I'm on Cowboy. Let's see. Where is it? It's too much weird stuff in here. Let me see. All right, where am I? Why did it jump so far? I'm on Cowboy. Cowboy is saying, all right, yeah, definitely don't add any more to the chat. I want to finish up soon. Okay, now I went too far. Man, that kid upstairs is screaming right now. Can you all hear him? All right, let's see. It's Cowboy saying, let's go to Scotty. And David's here. David is saying, just when I'm starting to think I've completely lost my mind, I log in here and read a comment. And yeah, I'm good. Laugh out loud. Just JFC. What is JFC? I don't even remember. Infamous is saying, all this complaining needs to stop. Most all-star games are bad except for maybe baseball. This is what happens when you're a fan of this team and not the sport. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's see. Jill's got the starting lineup, it looks like. Is that Siakam? We're not supposed to have Siakam on there still. No, that's RJ. Never mind. Let's see. Yes, sir, David. Let's grow. Audio glitching? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Maybe the internet's a little crazy. David's saying you should make people pass an IQ test before subscribing to this channel. Well, I'll have really, I don't know how many people I'd have subscribed then. I don't do stuff like that. I'm not trying to have a barrier for people to come in here. I want everybody to be available to be able to come here, unless you're not a Raptors fan. That's the only thing. Greg saying Stephen A will make similar takes for every snub player. Dude is a blowhard. He's right that SB4 deserves all-star, but so are other players. Kings players are the truly snubbed. Fifth in the West, 0 all-stars. Yeah, I say the Kings are the most snubbed. The most snubbed, for sure. The Kings are. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I would get behind the Trae Young talk too a bit, to a degree. I think Scotty statistically has one of the strongest cases also. In some ways, if I was Scott, I wouldn't want to be like Siakam last year and like get added as an injury replacement. I would want to get it clean. In some ways, that's a snub in itself. That you weren't a outright first time pick. We're adding you after. Like, in some ways, I don't like that. In some ways, it's like, either fucking put me on the first place, but don't come back around and ask me to be on it later when somebody's hurt. I don't know. In some ways, it'd be nice for Scott to get all-star, but I wouldn't want him to get it because of injury replacement for the first time. I feel like that's a backdoor way to get it. And in some ways, I don't want him to get it at all this year. Even if he does, I mean, I'll be happy for him if he does. And it'll be a great achievement. But in some ways, like I just said, it's like kind of a backdoor way to get him an all-star. And I don't like that. Chris is saying we need a Marxist revolt against the class struggle of the ruling teams. Laugh out loud. Boston, LA. Time to put the hammer and sickle on the next Raptor Freak t-shirt. And I am joking, Lex. In some ways, I feel like a sports league needs to be very communist. That a sports league should have it all equal for everybody, because that's what a league is supposed to be. is fair, even playing field. So in some ways, this isn't economics. This isn't a government system. This is athletics. This is a league that's supposed to be on the up and up and fair to all people participating. So in some ways, it should be like what we're saying here. You can call it class struggle is exactly the right word. There's classes in the league. It's like a caste system in Indian culture. There's different castes, social structure. Some people aren't allowed to talk to other people because of bullshit. It's that kind of stuff. So in some ways, the NBA has a caste system of haves and have-nots, and that is messed up, and that should be broken up. Adam Silver, with your fake ass illusion that it's a fair game, it's not. You have inequality in your league, bro. Jill saying Stephen A usually poops on the Raptors, so love these sporting Scotty. Yeah, usage of your words. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, he's kind of like also, this is the other way of taking it. He's gloating that he got snubbed too, and saying and pointing it out and putting it out there more on blast too. In some ways, I kind of wish that they just didn't talk about him at all in this thing. If he's not going to be on the All-Star team, let's just not talk about him. Just don't even bring him up. When we come back next year, he makes it, then we'll talk about him. Cowboys saying, yeah, you're in the Matrix. It's glitches. Okay, I don't understand why that's happening. Maybe it's just Sunday morning tech savvy glitchy connection. I don't know. Let's see. All day, every day. Thank you. Isaac's retracting. Agility's got him my 10:30. And Cowboy's saying, please never stop your channel. I can't stand any other channels. All right, Cowboy. I'll keep going just for you. I will, seriously. Kareem saying, Doc Rivers representing the East as a coach in the All-Star game. He's giving all the incentives to Coach Griffin. Pretty honorary. We could use Adrian as a G League coach. That's not a move that he's going to want to make. Trust me. He's more likely to do this, Kareem. I could see Adrian possibly maybe trying to get the Hornets job this summer. If they fire Steve Clifford and they say, yeah, we want a different coach, we're going to get Adrian now. They could do that. Or maybe he doesn't get another head coaching job, but he's not going to take the G League job. He's already been at those levels. It's kind of insulting because the amount of assistant coach years that Adrian's put in for him to get his head coaching opportunity and have this happen is really insulting. It's crazy. It's crazy insulting. Kareem's getting a alley-oop from Cowboy, 100%. All right, yeah, we'll do that for sure. For sure, Kareem Thomas, dunk champion from last year. He's got some catching up to do, I think, with Fiercey, though, right now. Yeah, she's 2 ahead right now. Let's see. Wayne's saying, Raptor Freaks, the group of players currently in uniform are not permanent. Timeliness is in place now. February 8th, end of season, and then October. It's difficult, but we should just chill, win or lose. Yeah, Wayne's a voice of reason. Wayne is an intelligent voice, and I'm with him. We're just going to chill. We're just go along with the ride. We'll catch the L's as the L's come. We'll hopefully catch some W's. That'd be awesome. And he's right. These are the periods we got to look at. The timeline for the 8th this week, the deadline, the end of the season, and then in October for a training camp. Yeah, I'm all about that. Jill's saying if Chris Boucher is moved, it's the end of an era. Yeah, let's not talk about this. I don't want to hear this in some ways. That's sad to me. You want an alley-oop for Wayne? Yeah, I agree with that one. Wayne had a good comment there. Wayne, number 8 for 2024. Let's see. Chris is saying, so obvious the NBA has a business model. LA and Boston make the most money. A couple other teams are key too, and that's why the way it is. Of course, it informs the refs. Cherish our chip. We stole one. Yeah, I don't even like to say we stole one. We earned it, but we were lucky we could get in there and get it. I would say that. Yeah, I would say that. Cowboys saying 1 step back, 2 steps forward. I'm with that. Fiercey saying I also had moments of doubts in reference to a purpose of supporting the team due to the NBA's actions towards us, refs, silver, media. But I'm a dreamer, sticking around as I know goodness will prevail. Yeah. In some ways, I had this kind of downer feeling about it the year before we won the championship. When we traded DeMar, and I saw that DeMarcus Cousins was on the Warriors, and they were just building another super team, and they had been winning every year, the Warriors. I was like, well, why am I going to even watch this year? Like the year we won the championship, I wasn't even going to watch because I was like so pissed that Our guy was gone. We had sold him out and gotten Kawhi. I didn't know how good Kawhi was going to be. I was saying things like, they've already written the script. They want the Warriors to win the championship this year. And well, the Warriors got in the finals and they could have had the championship, but they didn't. We won it. And in some ways, 2019 is exactly what Fiercey's talking about here. And that makes me want to stick around to see if we can do it again. And as much as I got down in the summer of 2018 about the NBA, thinking about whether I should continue to watch the NBA, I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I got to see the Raptors championship season in 2019. So that's what we got to think is like at some point, we're going to win another chip, just like Fiercey said. And Masai believes this will happen because he just believes the city is like this. So hopefully it can. We'll have to see. Fiercey saying, got to go, fam. Currently in Montreal for another tournament, but we'll be back on time to watch the Raptors get the dub later. Let's go and keep it up, Lex. Thank you, Fiercey Salsera. Safe travels and good luck to you guys at the tournament today. I hope you guys get the win. You get that W and you have a fantastic trip and safe both ways and enjoy the game later tonight. Wayne's saying America's more sophisticated caste system and it filters down into everything. Business and sports exemplifies society. Boston, Lakers, and Knicks are relevant even when not winning. Sucks, but reality. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we have really good illustrations of some of these societal issues and things in sports, we would be smart to look at them and the mechanisms of them and how they work and think about philosophies and how to better society from being informed by privilege and inequality in the NBA. That if we have problems with inequality in society, that we can learn things in an innocuous, innocent way from watching the NBA teams and how they have inequality. And we can apply it to things in real life and say, well, this like this for the Lakers. Why is it like this for this certain group of people in society? It's that kind of stuff. So we, in some ways, we gotta, there's lessons to be learned and ways to teach lessons in a way where some people may not get it in the other realm, but they could get it in the basketball realm. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, now I understand what he's talking about when he's talking about privilege now. I get it now. In some ways, that's a great thing about sports is it can educate about life in a weird way, very weird way. Cowboy said, I still believe what you said, Lex, and we will win a cup under Jakob's contract. I did say that. I said we're going to win a championship on Jakob's 4-year deal. Well, in some ways, Cowboy, since we backtracked away from getting better, I can't say that I fully believe this anymore, but I'm glad you still believe it. If we had been moving more towards with the guys we had, like OG and Pascal, I would have believed it then. But at this point, I can't say it for sure. Now, we could have a quick turnaround, and this could still be possible. But I don't want to stand by this anymore. In some ways, what I said about Jakob's contract and us winning our second championship, I don't believe it will happen at this point because we've changed so much just in the last month. We've changed so much. Jill's saying, Montreal, be fierce. Bon chance. Yeah. Yeah. Later, Fiercey. Have a good time in Montreal. Stargate saying the xenophobic coming from the b-ball fans of the other teams in the States, as well as the NBA office itself, is very pronounced nowadays due to the existence of social media. Yeah, it's part of the symptoms of the climate of the U.S. too. Some of it is because of border stuff. Some of them are xenophobic because of border stuff. Some of them are very propagandized in their heads with patriotism that they really look at everybody else as a second-class citizen in the world if you're not American. This is pervasive in players like that even play for the Raptors. In some ways, that's part of the problem sometimes with whether they have loyalty to us or not, is because they may look down on our country and Canadians in general as not being as important in the world as Americans. And that's a big, huge problem. They're trained to be like this. I know, because I grew up in the States and I heard how patriotism and American ideals is propagandized to people and they get indoctrinated this way when they're young. In some ways, it's not even their fault. They're nice people, but they don't understand how they're conditioned to be this way and how it is really xenophobic. It's really closed-minded. And in some ways, it's arrogant. And it's kind of also like very, very huge blind spot. That's part of the reason why a lot of the world hates Americans, because they like to act like they're the top shit and the best thing in the world, but they're really not in a lot of ways. In some ways, if they had more of an equal footing in their mindset with the rest of the world as a global citizen, people would respect them more, but they're the arrogant asshole. They're kind of like the bully in the class. They're bullying other little smaller countries around the world. And then they're walking around talking about how they're great and they're the greatest and everybody else sucks. If the countries were people in a class, like kids, yeah, that American kid would be the biggest asshole in the class. And he would be acting like he's the fucking doesn't have a shit smell. And he's just kind of all fucking arrogant and shit. That's the sad thing because there's very nice young people like Grady Dick, for example. He's a nice guy. He likes Canada. But he does feel this weird shit about Canada not being the same as US. And kind of in some ways, I could tell it's not that he looks down on it, but in some ways, he's going to be programmed to an extent by the American education system that America number one, America this, America that. And he'll look down on Canada just because of that. In some ways, that's messed up. I'll say this right now, America, you're failing. You're not a good country right now. You have mass shootings. You've been banning abortion. You're taking away freedoms and rights. You're losing like democracy. You have the very very real threat of fascism taking over that country and you becoming a dictatorship, just like a small country in Central America or in Africa or something like that. You guys are really in trouble right now. You don't even realize it. That's how arrogant and dumb y'all are with your blind spots. That you guys, in some ways, are really going to lead our world. And in some ways, we don't trust y'all because y'all are crazy and you're stupid. And in some ways, we want you to get your shit together, United States, is what we're saying. That's what we're saying right now. Trevor's saying, leaving Houston today to head back to Fort Lauderdale. Okay. Safe travels to you, Trevor J, and heading back to Florida. Jill saying, can you stop in OKC and watch the Raps? It's not really on the way. Let's just say that, Jill. It's the opposite direction. He'd be going north if he's going to OKC. No, he's got to go east. And that's a pretty direct shot. If he takes I-10, he's flying, though. He's just going to fly and probably won't take that long. Safe travels to Trevor J. Stargate saying, and we have to fight against that as well as the anti-basketball sentiment that exists in Canada from the alt-right and the SW, make hockey great again nation. Yeah, we have to keep speaking on it. Yeah, we got to understand what we're up against to a degree and just kind of just try and excel and be successful and have fun and enjoy Raptors culture and nature and a nation and just, doing what we do. Because there are forces out there that are anti-Raptors for sure within Canada and within the US for sure. For sure. Trevor's saying thank you to Cowboy. Greg's saying you're wrong about 905 yesterday. Winslow was enormous and one of the main reasons they were in the game at all. He inspired effort from peers. Great game. Jalen Leclerc hit 2 clutch shots and they were defended. Yeah. I don't know, Greg, because I started watching it. It started boring the hell out of me. I was just kind of like, okay, they're doing all right. But in some ways, I'm like kind of like Monique at this point. I'm jaded with them. It's like we don't believe in Eric Curry. We feel like this whole last 2 years with him has been a waste. That like 905 is like going nowhere. It's really, really pathetic, honestly. I've been so depressed about 905. I feel like 905 not doing well or spinning its wheels for the last 4 years is a big reason why our team is having problems right now. I feel like, Mutombo was a good coach. I felt like he did a good job and he got more out of the players. But when Eric Curry's been involved in this team, it's been an absolute fail this whole time. And it's almost like I'm just waiting for this season to be over. And 905 can like start with a new coach next year. It's like it's a wash as long as Curry's involved. Yeah, I'm looking at the stats, and Winslow's stats are awful. He had 6 turnovers, Greg, and he shot 2 for 10. He had his career high in the G League the game before that he played, and he was absolutely outstanding. I mean, you were maybe at the game, and you probably saw it in person. But this is what I saw. I saw the Raptors keeping the lead for most of the game and choking at the end of the game. And you can say they're well-defended shots, but I still see the same outcomes here. The Raptors can win for most of the game, but the other team gets serious. They play better at the end, and they overcome us, and they beat us. And we don't know how to win. And it's the coach. So, yeah, I don't know. In some ways, if you were at the game and I half-ass watched it at home while I was doing other work and kind of just paying attention, you probably do know more about what happened. But I can look at the stat line for Justice, and I say that's a bad game for Justice. It is. This is a bad game for him. He didn't make his shots. He had way too many turnovers. And, he may have done other stuff good, but, they didn't win. So there's something wrong there. Let's see. Cowboys got my cutoff. Denal saying, we want shorter streams for Lex's health, but we need longer streams for our sanity. It's a therapy session. All right. There's some sort of trade off here. I'm getting close to 2 hours, though. I'm going to try and finish very soon. Trevor's saying, no, Jill, I have to get back home. He has to work. He's got work to do. He's got shows to do. He's got to get on that stage and show the products. And he's got to get back for that. Kareem's saying, give Neon Moon an alley-oop. All right. We'll do that. Bradley, you're getting an alley-oop from Kareem Thomas. He has called it out, and we're giving Bradley his 18th dunk of 2024. Let's see. Cowboy saying, respect, bro. Hope you're good. You're a goodie, bro. Yeah, man. All right, cool. Dap. Jill saying, yes, Lex. I said Scotty was asked to try for the Olympics. I feel this is better than being asked for the All-Stars. Good luck to him. It's not, though, because it's the 41 players get asked to come to U.S. and only 24 get All-Stars. So in some ways, there's way more people getting invited to go to the Olympic tryouts. And there's like names on that list. You're like, yeah, this guy's not an all-star. Yeah. I don't know in some ways. And then she's saying, no, Lex, Adrian is not mad at Doc Rivers. Let's just wait and see how Adrian reacts to the gift. That's all. I don't think we'll get to see this. Like, we're not going to get to see Adrian talking to Doc about this. That's not going to be put on TV. They're not going to broadcast how it goes down. He's just going to take it. I think anybody would. You think that Adrian Griffin has some sort of honor? He's like, no, Doc, you deserve this. Bullshit, Doc doesn't deserve this. And he understands that. And that's why he's going to give it to Adrian. And Adrian's going to be like, thanks for the money, bro. Thank you. I don't understand why this is so complicated to figure out. He's going to give him money. And he's like, he's going to say, no, I don't want the money. Yeah, he's going to say he wants the money. Come on, y'all. Anyway, I love you, Jill. I don't understand. We look at things a little bit differently. I think in some ways your perspective is informed by your own perspective, and my perspective is informed by my own perspective. And I was like, okay, he wants to give him thousands of dollars. I don't see what the issue is here. He's going to say, yeah, thank you, Doc. I'll take the money and put it in my bank account. And that's what he'll do. Cowboys saying later, Lex, bam, Raptor freaks. Have a safe day. Let's go Raptors. That's right. Raptor your day. Do the right way. And hopefully the Raptors will win today. Yeah, see you, Cowboy. And Wayne is saying that is correct, Lexicon. Fans like to speculate on people's attitudes on their career and income. Fred is correct to take an extra $13 million a year. Pascal should get paid, and Adrian does want his due. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be weird if they do let him coach it. That's what Doc said. I don't want to coach this game. You should let him coach it just in his honor. And I'm like, the NBA said no, they won't do that. It's them saying no. Doc wants to do a nice thing and say Adrian should coach this All-Star game. And the NBA saying no, you can't do that, Doc. You have to coach it. That's how it went. It's basically what I heard. Later, and Mischief saying, looking forward to this Raptors Thunders game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, base man. Wayne saying players earn their due on merit, but teams are on levels of financials, history, and location importance to the NBA. Our players' burden is somewhat heavier, so a stronger mindset has to be present. Yeah, that's part of the whole insidious thing. They say nobody wants to play for Toronto. Yeah, because it's a harder route, because it's well known in the league that the league shits on that team and doesn't, they actually give them disadvantages. In some ways, it's a harder route. If you're like going into your life and you're like coming out of college and you see different career paths, and some of them are harder, some take more education, some are this, some people take the easier route. Some people won't want to go play for the Raptors because it's harder to play. In some ways, if you have people that want to come play for the Raptors, these are guys that are really going to bust their ass and try hard because they may know that it's a little bit harder to win and be successful here. And that's just how it is. I mean, some people may not want the hard route. They want the easy route. And that may be the filtering out of some of those people not coming in here. Damian Lillard. Yeah, that's one of them. Jill saying 11 o'clock TikTok. It's all as well. All right, 11 o'clock TikTok. Go Raptors. And Greg saying Eric is doing a great job of what they asked him to do. I don't disagree about his mandate, though. Eric is developing, too. I think he's worth the investment. You didn't see anything. You were on the box score. I watched some of it. I watched some of it vicariously. I had it on. It was on in the room. I had it on and I was listening to it, but I was in my work and kind of looking up every once in a while if I heard something interesting. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, look, I understand you're going to paint a good picture, but I'm not. I'm sick of it. I threw my hands up. I said at the beginning of the year, I was mad that Eric Curry was staying on anyway. In some ways, it mystified me. I hate the whole idea that you're saying that he's developing too. I don't give a shit about that. Why do we have to be a farm system for coaches? It's just like, is other teams doing this? Is Andre Miller a farm team coach? No. In some ways, that dude knows what he's doing. He used to play. I look at the other G League coaches and I'm like, these guys look like real coaches. Eric Curry's not a real coach. I'm sorry. It's just not, it's not clicking. I've been very elaborate about how I describe why he should not be a coach. I'm on the record for saying it. He's a numbers guy. He's an office guy. He's a PhD. He's an academic. He's not somebody from an athletic background. He never really played basketball at a high level. He's just it's just like there's no Bobby Knight in him. He's too passive. He's too like fuck. If I was on that team, I'd have a hard time respecting him. Yeah, seriously, like I don't get how the players actually listen to him. I don't think they do. I think that half the time at the end of games, part of the problem is that these guys don't respect him and listen to him and execute what he wants. They're going on their own script. Like I've seen Justice Winslow just take over the game at the end of the game and just do whatever the fuck. And I know that's not what Eric Curry told him to do. So he's just a big fail. The development league is a development league for the players. In some ways, they want to develop referees. They want to develop announcers. They want to develop Lindsey Dunn as a sideline reporter. That's great. But there should be some people that know what they're doing, and it should be the coach. The coach should be directing and developing the young players. I don't feel like those players are getting developed when the coach doesn't know how to fucking do the job himself because he's being developed. And that's just the biggest flaw in this whole thing. In some ways, I could say the same damn thing about GM Luke Wynn, that motherfucker is a development GM, and that's a fail too. In some ways, I've not been impressed with the build of our G League team. I see other teams have way bigger teams. They have more size. They have more complete things on their team. And in some ways, I'm not like, I get it. It's so transitory. And there's so many different people switching and coming in and out. It's hard to deal with. But also at the same time, I'm not really impressed with the players that Luke Wynn's bringing to us. I'm really not. Some of them are really talented. They're selfish. Some of them are really athletic, but they're not good fundamentally. Miles Burns can dunk the hell out of the ball, but he can't make a fucking free throw. That's not an NBA player. Jayshawn Page, he can hit the three, but he's not a good teammate. Kobe Simmons, athletic, amazing athlete, can score, but he's really not a good team player, and he's not an NBA player. He's not good enough. That's what there's a lot of on this team. I'd much rather go get some hulking, big, huge dudes that have some athleticism like Jemison that we saw recently for Birmingham Squadron. He got picked up. He's on an NBA team all of a sudden right now. That's what I want. I'm wondering where those guys are. McCurr, and Mohamed Ugi are not centers or big guys that should count. Where's a center? Where is it? We have a weakness of no centers on the big club. We should have more guys. As soon as Jonte came in, well, he got snatched right up to the big league. Well, that's showing that we have a lack of a position, not only in the Raptors, but in the Raptors 905. In the whole entire organization, the center is very, very, very scarce. And I don't know. In some ways, I'll criticize Luke Wynn for not having any centers coming up in his development league to help the Raptors pool of talent to get like another center. Jonte was a great first step, but that took Ron Harper having a season-ending injury and getting waived for us to pick up Jonte Porter, and boom, all of a sudden he's an important part of our rotation on the main team. It's crazy. It is crazy. Greg's saying, no offense intended, bro. You just have this one wrong. It's all good, Greg. We can disagree on this. In some ways, I will relent that you are much more of a 905 expert than I am. You go to the games more often. You see it in person. But in some ways, I'm like Monique. I'm just fed up. I'm throwing my hands up. Monique wanted to fire Eric Curry's ass. She hates him so much. I'm really with Monique at this point. I have no patience for him anymore. And in some ways, I'm questioning whether I should try and watch the 905 games for this year, or they're just wasting my fucking time. In some ways, if I'm going to deal with the Raptors in the state they're in, dealing with the 905 being the way they are, it's just too much. In some ways, I just kind of like, all right, I can't stop watching the Raptors, but you know what? I could stop watching the 905 because they're inept, they're poorly coached, they don't play as a team. They're not helping Grady in his G League like development. That's the sad thing too. It's like it's good for Grady to go down there and get reps, but it's not helping him as much as it's helping him on the regular team. He's getting way more strides and good things happening playing alongside the regular team than when he goes down and plays with those jokers on the 905. They're so selfish. Yeah, it's just not organized. I feel like the 905 is just kind of half-assed organized. It's not organized correctly. It could be utilized in so many better ways. Like the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, they have a really good like culture and organization. They have a mantra. They have a way of being like, we are going to win. And that's why they won yesterday. Is because they have that culture. They have that mentality. They have those winning kind of things instilled in what they're doing. We don't have any of that shit. We have a confusion. We have an ineptitude. We have people that are just not like, I can get all the injuries. I can get all the transitory roster, different people filing in and out. I don't care. In some ways, it's just, they're not doing anything of substance that's helpful. I don't care. I don't want Eric Curry to be a coach in any other level anywhere else. He fuck him. If he's head coaching anywhere else in the future, I'll be like, that team's a losing team. If the Raptors decide that they want him to be involved in any kind of other head coaching job, I'm going to be like, you guys are fucking idiots. I'll be like, you're dumb. Why are you like, if they said all of a sudden that Eric Curry is going to be the coach again next year, I'll be like, face palm. What the fuck are we doing? We're not going to get anywhere closer to getting better with that league if he's going to be fucking in charge down there. And I know that somebody's celebrating with me. It's probably Monique. I don't think she's here, though. I don't think she's here right now. Let's see. Let's see. Jill's saying Eric Curry could go back inside the office and study numbers. His best job with the Raptors is as the analyst Brittany Donaldson for the main team. He should be sitting on the back bench and bringing the stat sheet printouts from his analytics to Darko. Now, if Darko likes him and wants him around in that kind of way, that's up to him because in some ways he's not one of his people. He's Masai's person. That's the whole reason why he's doing the job he's doing. This Masai touched him, just like Teresa Resch, and said, "You're an awesome person. And I want you to be working with me because you're awesome, and I believe in you." That's the whole reason why Eric's doing this. Is because Masai looks at him as a wonderkind. He came into the team a decade ago, right around when Masai showed up. Eric got hired, and he's been moving around from job to job because Masai really likes him. So he's like, yeah, I want Eric to coach the G League team. Fail, Masai, fail. That is a fail. I love you, man, but I don't talk about your fails very often. But giving Eric Curry the keys to the G League team was a fail. It has been this whole time. Yeah, it really has. Let's see. Greg's saying, what does development mean to you? We don't just develop players. We develop winning playbooks and coaches at G League is also. I don't think we should, though. I don't think other teams are doing this. I think that this is our own choice, too. We don't have to develop coaches. You could have one coach, and it could be the G League coach for 20 years, and I'd be happy. If he's really good at what he does is one job in developing young players and getting the best out of them and getting them organized and ready. You know, I just don't have any confidence in Eric Curry. I really, really don't. He's not a basketball person. He's an office person. He got a PhD in water dynamics. This doesn't even have anything to fucking do with basketball. I probably had more classes in university about basketball than he has. I've taken basketball theory. I've taken basketball classes at Florida State. I don't know if Eric Curry ever took a basketball theory class in university. I don't know if he has. He's busy taking water classes and learning about flow and shit like that. I mean, I'm just saying, why do we have to be the team that develops coaches? It's not like the coaches that we develop in the G League stay with us. I mean, Jama did, but he left and came back. Patrick Mutombo's on Phoenix. Oh, wait, no, he's on Milwaukee now. He's on Milwaukee. Jerry Stackhouse coaching Vanderbilt. Okay, so we're such a nice organization. We're going to just develop coaches for the whole entire basketball world? That's not in our interest, is it? It's not. It really isn't. We could develop a great development coach like Schmidt for the College Park Skyhawks, and boom, he's coaching them instead. He was an assistant coach on the 905. In some ways, he should be coaching the 905 instead of Eric Curry right now. Ryan Schmidt, who coaches the College Park Skyhawks. In some ways, we're going to disagree on this, Greg, and it's fine. And you can think I'm wrong, but I have my own perspective on this. I look at the development league for the players. I don't look at it for fucking other positions. You know, they can develop the refs, they can develop the announcers, but they shouldn't be developing the leadership jobs, the coach and the GM. It's folly. It's stupid. In some ways, it just doesn't make any fucking strategic sense. It really, really doesn't. So let's see. Greg's also saying other teams have teams full of G League players. Wynn has assembled a cast of ball handling guards with various measurements and upside. Amazing young cast at 905 with additional 2 to 10s plus extra two ways A++. See, I don't agree with this build either. I really don't. I don't want guys who have perspective that are undersized. I don't give a shit. If you're not a certain height, I don't care. You're not going to make the league. That's just the way the league's going. We have a long arm monster league, your term. And to me, you got to be a certain height or you're just a fail. You can't be in this league unless you're absolutely perfect like Marquise Noel. These guys are flawed, and all of them are not going to make the NBA. Most of them. I'm going to say most of the players that are on the G League right now for the Raptors are not going to be in the NBA at any point. They're undersized and they're flawed. And fundamentally, they're not good enough either. So, I mean, that's not upside doesn't matter if there's no realistic path. In fact, I'd much rather Luke Wynn build a team down there that's conducive to build around Grady. If we're going to do this up on the bigger level, build around Scott and build a team that caters to him and works around him, why wouldn't we build a team that's going to pass it to Grady and give him the production and let him be the number one guy down there? No, we got a bunch of selfish ball hogs that are trying to unrealistically make the league, and they never will. What's the point of that? That doesn't make any sense. I'd rather Luke Wynn go get a big center, a point guard like Marquise, and get the real pieces and have Grady put in that spot so he's developing because he's the one who matters because he has a real path. He already has a spot. He has a future with the Raptors. Jayshawn Page doesn't. Most of those guys do not have any kind of future. They should be down there working with, and the development is that they're in the league and they may get picked up by another team. But in some ways, they should be working with us, and the coach should be organized and saying, Grady is our guy. When he is here, we are working off of him like he is our franchise player. We shouldn't be fucking around with Kobe Simmons. We shouldn't be fucking around with Daryl Morsell. Those guys should be role players. They shouldn't even be on the team. They should be players that are built around a team that would be with Scotty on the main level, and Grady is the guy on the G League level, and they should be catering to him. They should be throwing it to him as much as possible. They should be putting the ball through Grady's hands instead of selfishly playing isolation one-on-one themselves. That's just my philosophy of how I would run the 905. I would cater it to the rookies that are in development that matter to the team because they have a path in the future with us. And fuck all the rest of those guys. Those guys can play for themselves, but if they do too much, well, they don't fucking get sent to another team. Because that's the part of the paradox of the G League. Is these guys are all trying to make the league, and this is the closest they're going to get. But in some ways, that's not conducive to team development because they're selfish and they only give a shit about themselves. That's the way I look at that team. I don't think Justice Winslow has any kind of chance to make the NBA again. He's undersized. There's a reason why he's in the G League, and he's grasping to the very end of his NBA career. Some people think, oh, he's got this, he's got this, he's got this. Well, he had his chance. And in some ways, he had that inertia, momentum, and good things going. He fucked it up. And now he's trying to grasp on it at this last second. Nah, he's not going to make it. He's done. He's going to go to Europe next. There's no realistic path for him to get in the NBA. Unless some other team really wants him. It won't be Toronto, though. It won't be Toronto. Let's see. Yeah, that's my philosophy about how 905 should be. They should be building around our rookies that matter. And not bringing in all these talented guys. I don't give a shit about assembled cast of ball handling guards with various measurements and upside. Those upside doesn't mean jack shit. They're not realistically making the league, and we're wasting our time. Jill's saying, happy Sunday, peeps. 7 p.m. is late for Sunday, but enjoy. SGA will be a joy to watch, but go Raptors, go. All right. Yeah, and I should cut off right now. 11:30, I'll be done. Wayne saying Toronto 905 affects the main roster, and it's negative. We watch those games, and that program has been diminished. Not much improvement, and losing games is the culture. Yeah, their culture is horrible. Absolutely horrible. How are we building culture if we change our coach every 2 years? That's what I'm saying. Get an established coach and keep them there for a long time. Then you will build culture. Then you may get something like the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Like they have a culture. They do. They talked about it in the game yesterday. And it's like this team they've met each other in the finals, G League finals, the Raptors 905 and the Vipers. So they have history. The Vipers are a very proud team with a lot of history of winning and doing well in this league. In some ways, that's what I'd love to hear about the 905. We do have a great history in the G League, a very successful one, but not recently. Not recently. Greg saying Biggs, MK, Mo, and O'Banner are all mentoring under Justice. Play with quick feet, high motor, and athleticism rather than girth. They are experimenting with stuff so that the NBA team does not have to. Yeah, I don't understand why. I feel like we're on double secret probation. We're not allowed to have centers. It's like with Tampa, it's the same thing. In some ways, I just don't get it. I mean, I have more faith in the bigs on the G League level. Like, if there's anybody on that team that I think can make the NBA, maybe Gee or O'Banner and Maker. Those three guys. They get a little bit more weight on Maker or Gee. I could see them playing the NBA. Kevin O'Banner could have a shot. He could have a shot. I could see it. He could have a shot. He's going to have a big summer this summer, though. But yeah, those are the only three guys out of most of the other guys, other than Marquise, that I feel like have a shot. The rest of the guys really don't. They really, really don't. And they're bigs, and they're bigs. That's part of the reason why. O'Banner's still undersized, but that 3-point shot that he has and the grit and stuff, in some ways, he'd be like, to me, he's very similar to Champagny, Justin. That like O'Banner's a better Champagny, if you ask me. I think he's better than Justin Champagny. And they have a lot of the same qualities in some ways. So I don't know. In some ways, you can gauge O'Banner with Justin and where he's gotten in the NBA, and you see how far he's gotten. Jill's saying Suns sold their G League so they could focus on the Suns. They never had a G League. They have never had a G League. They're the one team that doesn't have a G League team. They never had one. I don't think they did. Jimmy's saying, I agree. Grady should have been number one priority on the 905. The ball should have gone through him way more. That's what I'm saying. Let's prioritize the development that we're focused on in a really focused way so that it actually helps to get to the places. Like Nick's going to play all his starters and focus the good quality minutes on, like mostly just played through really good players. Well, we should be doing that with our development. In some ways, I get it. You want to have a spit shot and hit a bunch of targets and hope one of them pays off. But if you have certain things that you're investing in, people like Fred or Pascal, Grady, you should really be catering and centering things around them. I get it that Grady, in some ways, did not enjoy the G League experience. He said that in his interview with Jarace Walker this weekend, that going to G League was like, in some ways, but he enjoyed it. Like, as far as like, he got some things from it, but I think it was also confusing to him, and it wasn't necessarily something that he enjoyed. In fact, he talks about it, how in that interview, like it's past, like he's not going back there. Seriously, that's what he said. He said, yeah, it was nice to go to G League, but I'm glad it's over, is kind of what he said. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Are you saying that you're not expecting to ever go back down to G League for the rest of this year? Okay, well, I guess then you are going to be rotation with the Raptors and playing every single game with them instead of going back and forth. Yeah, in some ways, I wish that he was like, okay, this is my showdown here so much. I love playing for the G League. I want to eat it up and play the whole season, just like Boucher, just like Siakam. When they were playing in their year, they enjoyed it because there was a focal point and they excelled and they got a lot going. They had a lot of success. In some ways, that's not happening. I don't know. I don't want to harp on this too much. Let's see. Greg saying those experiments help decide what types of players we need at NBA and illuminate the path through trade deadline and free agency. You're right. 905 is not being used the way you would like right now. Method to madness. Greg, I love that you're advocating for it, and I know that it is something that you know way better than me in some ways. So in some ways, your opinions are much more educated than mine, and I do have to say that to people. I mean, Greg's talking to the people that are at the games. He's talking to the players. He's talking to the management. He's talking to people around the team. So he has a better pulse on things than I do. I just want results, Greg. God damn it, Greg. Can you get them in line out there? I just want results. I want better results. I want winning. And Curry makes me mad.
Blackhawk saying Muhammadu can be Boucher's future replacement. They both have a long reach. Yeah, that's a very easy comparison. They call themselves twins. Jill says sold it in July. I don't remember them having a team. I can remember them saying there were two teams in the NBA that don't have G League teams, and the Portland Trailblazers fixed that this year with the Rip City remix, their first season. And Phoenix was the other team that doesn't have a G League team. They've tried to, maybe they're going to connect them with the Mexico City team and just say, hey, Mexico City is your G League affiliate. That would make sense. Mexico City is not connected to an NBA team right now. So if it's already existing and involved, they could just say, okay, Mexico City is the G League team for Phoenix. And then it would be nice and complete and figured out. That'd be good. Jimmy's saying he 100% got froze out by some of the players. Totally did. And that's not useful. That's not useful. I don't give a shit about Jabroni, Jaysean Page taking fucking threes. Stop fucking freezing out our number one pick. Our first round pick. Number 13, Grady Dick, number 1. You need to give him the ball and let him shoot it. This is where I want privilege. I want inequality. I want inequality for Grady on the G League in the shot selection. And that's an inequality I want to get behind that we should be doing. It's like Scotty, he should have inequality for him. Working towards making him better, inequality for the other guys. He should be more above them. That's what I'm saying. That's okay on the court stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Jill's saying 2020, and 11:30 o'clock. See you guys. See you freaks. And Blackhawks saying the previous Phoenix owner got rid of their G League team. Oh, Sarver from like before. Okay. So I don't even remember the name of the team. What was the name of the team? I don't even remember. Greg's saying, dude, I come here because you have great takes. It sucks losing. I take pleasure in simply watch the incredible players play ball. Greg, I love you, man. And seriously, man, if we disagree just a little bit today, it's all healthy and good. And I think that your points are valid too. That in some ways it is true. The Raptors can experiment with stuff and get away with the risk down there way easier than doing it on the main level. And you're probably right. That is probably a lot of what they're doing is that kind of stuff, is experimenting in a safe environment. Yeah. All right, Greg, I love you, man. Check out the Gubstown Clink. It's a fantastic, very well-produced YouTube channel on Raptors and NBA stuff. Always talking about don't believe the red sauce, y'all. Don't fall for it. And check out his new stuff. He's got something on the white whale. I'm gonna watch it this afternoon, probably. Yeah. Let's see. Blackhawks saying, I don't remember their previous team name either. Oh, well. Yeah, I just don't remember what it is. If you could tell me what the G League team was, and I know it would exist. Y'all aren't trying to do some sort of weird, like, one of those things, like, where something didn't exist, like that Sinbad movie called Kazam. You know, you're not trying to do that to me, are you? You're trying to say there's a Phoenix G League team, and I'm like, is there? Was there? I'm trying to figure this out. The Suns sold it in July 2020. What was the name of it? Tell me what the city and the nickname was, and then maybe I'll jog my memory. Some ways that's what the problem is here. All right, look at Jill with the lineups out there. I love it. That's awesome. All right, let's recap real quick and get the fuck out of here. Greg saying, not surprised the same team that trades every single one of their picks doesn't see value in the G League either. Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, for sure. All right, injuries once again. For Oklahoma City, Jalen Williams, the one without the Y, is out today. He will not be playing because of his ankle. Isaiah Joe is out also. And Trey Mann is questionable due to personal issues. On our side of things, Jonte Porter already ruled out for the day-to-day. His back is still spasming. RJ Barrett is questionable, though. Hopefully when we see RJ come back and have that Team Canada matchup against SGA, that'd be fantastic. Marquise Noel also out with his hamstring. Our referees are Mark Davis, JT Orr, and Danielle Scott. Mark Davis favors the Thunder, and JT Orr and Danielle Scott favor the Raptors. So there's your ref report real quick. And a really sad loss, last second loss to the Rio Grande Vipers, 108 to 105, Raptors 905. My 3 stars were Gee, Jeffries, and Lewis. And then that's pretty much it. If you guys have a fantasy team in our fantasy league, play, because it's been very competitive and very fun. The season's getting more and more crazy. Whoever's going to win this Raptor Freak Fantasy Basketball League, it's going to be a real achievement. I'm not going to lie, because there are some tough teams in this league out of the 20. And the teams that make the playoffs are all going to be winning teams, and they're going to be absolutely the best teams in this league. So I'm really excited. I really appreciate the top teams and the work y'all are putting in this season. Saborin Brothers, JP, MK. You guys have been playing so fantastic this season, and it's going to be a really fun playoff. And Meredith, if I play you in the playoffs, I know I probably got you today. I'm going to be very worried about playing you again and you trying to get a rematch, get some revenge on me. I could see that. I can see that MK is going to try and get some revenge on me for beating him this week. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the arena in Oklahoma City. I don't know what it's called. And this corner we have from Canada, Mississauga, RJ Barrett. He is the number 9 Team Canada bronze medal winner. And in this corner for the Oklahoma City Thunder is Mr. SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, also from Canada. So it's a Team Canada match. And in this one, we're going to have a maple syrup corralling competition. You guys got to go and take the siphon and stick the spigot in the wall of the maple tree and try and get that bucket filled, that vat filled of 100% Canadian maple syrup. And whoever can fill it up the fastest will win this competition in the main event marquee matchup, RJ versus SGA in the 100% Canadian maple syrup challenge. There you go. All right, y'all, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and join if you feel like it. I'm glad I can be a therapy session. If not, rest from my voice at times. We'll figure out the right time length for each and every stream every single day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's right. I'll be here. Greg, I love you, man. And I hope the 905 turn around and get better. That's all I want for them. It's just to develop some good winning culture from that level to come up into our upper team, just like it did when Fred VanVleet played for the 905 also. Marquise, you can do it. I believe in you. Get healthy and get back out there, Marquise Noel. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Let's go Raptors. Stay true. And yeah, let's surprise everybody. Nothing to lose. Let's beat the Thunder today. Just for the hell of it. Why not? Let's just beat the Thunder today. I'm all about it. All right, let's go.